is how do I do this? Let's get the roll call going. We have Blackie as
Carrick Marsh.
Kronos as
Argy Thal.
Hadden as
Thaldir Forge Hammer.
Marcus as
Clovis Adolas.
Sammy as
Gift and Bratgren.
and Tobias as
Eating.
Perfect.
And
Yes,
the
a
horse is
salad.
eating like a horse.
You have me and Aaron as your friendly computerless DM.
This should actually be one of the fun ones to be streaming.
It would be.
Just because of that.
Just
See how many
because-
people look at that like, oh, wait, what?
This is our DM. They're not on the internet right now, but question how
Yes.
we hear their voice.
So, as you're all aware, today's session may be a bit clunky, a little bit odd, a little bit of fit to the mindy, simply because I am doing this on a phone as my computer is bricked. But I'm sure we will make do somehow,
She
mainly
also
by
has
you guys
paper and
reminding me of what characters are called because I don't have my notes.
We're renaming most of them to Mario.
Yeah. I also don't have my delightful random name generator or basically anything that enables me to run this game. So
I'm
this will be
helping.
interesting. Yeah.
I have that thing up.
I would tell you to all hop into Roll20, but I really don't care because I can't see it anyway. So
We're
but I
kind of
think
all
we'll
there.
both die at some point.
I rolled a 20. What's that do?
You automatically die, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, well, that happened.
Well,
Bye.
that's
Bye.
one down. We can get this game wrapped up real quick.
Who's next?
So, who would like to give me a very detailed recap?
Say 3 hours worth.
I will try my hand on that.
Go for it. I mean, Sam could just literally play the audio of the last session and we could all appreciate it.
Yeah, but it'll take the whole session.
We're gonna
know.
do like MST3K it or something and just
Blackie, I see you at Final Fantasy.
Get off.
Come on. Hands
Wrap
up.
up what you're doing.
Trying to finish my shotgun, but I died. So
All right, well, I'll begin the recap then.
Go for it.
All right. The party was sleeping at the King's Mercy and was briefly woken up by the ladies of the party by having a ghostly figure appear before them.
I don't see that in my notes.
Okay. Well,
Also, I think you can find it was only Argy that was, well, not even woken up because Argy trances, so...
Yeah, Argy was the only one awake for it. No.
I don't have all the details, okay?
why not?
Now, I asked for a very...
Also, to be fair, I also wasn't tranced at the time.
Okay.
True.
Argy saw a ghostly figure in military garb that was just standing there. Didn't do anything and sort of drifted away after a moment or two. Argy didn't alert anybody, just let everyone sleep, but would later inform the rest of the party that, yeah, there was a ghost. And to that point, there was, they acknowledged that Carrick had his clothing nailed to the ceiling.
People are mean.
Yes. The ghost wore the old town defense garb. So there's speculation that there was some sort of battle that happened, roughly 300 years ago. The party,
300 years. Yeah.
yeah, the party talked to Man.
Man?
Yeah.
Owner.
Man,
like
we
your
talked to
notes.
man.
Elias Cantor.
Elias,
Cantor.
yeah. Elias Cantor.
Sorry, I have a frog in my throat all of a sudden.
Yes,
But you
Elias
do not
Cantor.
Give him my
And-
horrible
Okay,
name.
let
that
me
I
note
keep-
down Elias Cantor, man.
Yes, the man. And sort of asked him about the history of the tavern, why there's ghosts, and speculation henceforth. We discovered that There was stonework laid down for the construction of the King's Mercy, and there was woodwork that also was laid down. Cassiopeia investigated some of the woodwork and found no hidden things inside the walls, but determined that it was well built. However, when inspecting the nails, we discovered that the nails from Carrick's clothing were coffin nails. The party tried to figure out what to do. We decided to split up into 3 different groups. One group went to go investigate the Temple of Amor. That was Cassiopeia, Thaldir, and Carrick, I believe.
Nope.
No? No, you went to go do fancy stuff. That's right. They talked to the priest there. I do not have that person's name.
Go on, go give me the name.
Sammy?
Father McPriesty.
So Sam is gonna pass somebody a note really quick, and it says some people don't ask NPC names, so we never got that one.
Okay, so Father McPriesty, and he.
I would like
he
to point out he's
told-
Father McGravedigger.
Okay, yes. And
Hey,
he
just
and
because his last
His name
name
is Dom
is McPriesty doesn't mean he's a priest. Jeez.
Anyway.
His name is Dom Petty.
hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
The crypt was busted into. Several masonry blocks were missing around the Tomb of Soldiers. And it was around the time that the tavern was being constructed. Gifton, Argy, and Carrick went to the tailors to show off their to show off the clothing that Gifton had made, and introduce the tailor to her mother. Try to have her mother be in sort of a working relationship with this tailor.
Taylor's name is?
Sammy?
I'll give you a hint. E. Ed.
Edwin?
Edward Alathano.
Yes.
Okay.
I spelled his last name really bad.
I spelled it bad because I got Alassar when you typed it.
I got Alistar. Alistar. Is that what you had, Sam?
Alathano. Did I post it into Road 20?
Yeah, this is how it said. But you're saying it sounds like you're saying Alatanel.
I wrote it badly.
This is how it sounds like you're saying it, but it's Alasanor, right?
Yeah.
Alathano. Yeah.
Which weird, because I'm really not hearing it the way you're typing.
I don't know
but
why.
I am hearing it the way Allie had.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. It's just. But anyway,
I
sorry. Go
spelled
ahead.
his
Sorry to
name-
interrupt you, Corvus, but it is Edward
I spelled his
Alasanor of
name
the
wrong.
Fine Cut.
The fine cut, yes.
That part I had right.
And Corvus, myself, decided to see about the stonemasonry and to also see about the wood construction. And those would be Gandorki Boulderbane is a stonemason.
Gandorki.
Glandoki. And Lalith Aaronthil.
Lalathalanthir is right. Is the wood person.
But he decided, since the woodwork was outside of town, to try the stoneworks. He asked for directions, got lost, talked to a fishmonger. retreated back the way he came and proceeded to investigate
Yeah, tell me,
the.
how did that go?
That went very poorly. Started asking questions. The Boulder Bane did not
Subtle
seem too
question.
appreciative of those questions, and asked if he was part of the guard. Was not. He told him he was investigating the stonework at the King's Mercy. Got very defensive, and was told to leave. And he looked around a bit and sort of did so. But he decided to take a back route to see if he can maybe overhear some of the conversations happening within the stonework building, and failed at that, and managed to see or get caught by one of Boulder Bane's employees, and was told to leave immediately. He agreed to after some banter, rounded the corner, and started to head back to the Temple of Moor. Not realizing he was being tailed, stopped, had a conversation with Thaldir and Cassiopeia. They realized that there was a dwarf being tailed, tailing Corvus. Thaldir got very upset, wanted to punch Corvus. Corvus got very defensive, was confused, left anyway. Dwarf that was tailing Corvus continued to tail Corvus. Cassiopeia charged. Corvus got scared, and a whole ruckus sort of ensued at the house terrace. The house guards made a point of not doing this here, and somehow the dwarf that was telling Corvus decided this is getting too much for me, and decided to leave down one of the alleys into the main square in the center of town. And Cassiopeia, I think, was escorting Corvus down to the Twin Dogs afterwards. But Gifton was having a good time at the Taylor's. Yeah.
I'll be honest, we just kind of sat there having a nice tea.
Yeah.
And you guys
Oh,
lost
the
track of
company's
that man
over.
that caught you spying.
Yeah. Amen.
That's
Okay.
an exciting time.
Right, take an inspiration. I also would like to note, Marcus, that you're so good with names that you mispronounce your own character's name.
Yes.
Which is very impressive.
Yes. I am bad with names. If they're not geologic, I am bad with names.
Like my favorite rock, Mugma.
That's not even a rock.
Ugma.
Yeah, obviously you should be talking about everyone's favorite rock, wood.
I had one thing that I wanted to bring up, Allie, because I know we've been doing, when we did the brief intermission over with the group that was with me, which is RG and Carrick and the thing, and we were just kind of vaguely saying the discussion we were having with the Taylor. I was going to, I think I said it last time, but I don't remember if I did. But Gifton was basically going to be directing him on, or basically asking him for his direction of how he wanted her to do things based on his information, and she was taking notes of things he thinks is appropriate because she's taking his cue because it's his shop. So
Okay. He will give you very smart tailory information. That will help you.
and she's
And
also
Annie
basically
does not
going
know.
to defer to him as much as possible, and tell him she's going to defer to him for any questions the clients have, as she will want him to have say.
What we're going to do is we're actually going to dive right into that.
Oh no.
So, okay. Gifton, Carrick, did you stick around?
We were still having tea because the clients weren't there yet.
That's right. Yeah.
And
There was talk of them heading off later after the little presentation was done. That's right.
yeah, because
So,
you
me and Gareth are
wanted
still there.
Yeah.
Carrick there so he could show off the outfit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, yes.
and Carrick's grandmother's
Okay.
there.
Yes.
I may have found candy somehow.
And then the talk of them two heading off afterwards. That's right.
Yep, I may have found candy where we are.
I have fake memory, even without my notes.
Yep.
Um,
Well, it's been a week too.
yeah. Okay. Gifton, Carrick, and RG is the character's name.
Yes, Archie.
Yeah.
That it says. You've been having a nice little tea. Edward is now starting to clean up a bit. Picking up finished little cups and the little plates that had the little lovely little pastries and sandwiches on them. And he's starting to bustle about. And as he's doing that, he's still addressing you, Gifton. He's like, oh no, what was his accent? See, I actually note down what they're supposed to sound like as well.
He had a kind of a proper sound.
Yes, it doesn't matter.
Like that, yeah.
Yes. I mean, there are certain degrees of decorum you should be using when dealing with the nobility. But I think in this case it's not too important. Part of the charm and appeal of this is to, and you'll forgive me for this, I'm not trying to insinuate it, but to have a wild, magical nature creature, you know?
Yeah, I understand. I just, I don't want to overstep, and I want to do what you think is appropriate and not exactly like a trained animal act, because I figure we're trying to keep a bit of decorum to it.
Yes, we do want a bit of decorum, but I kind of want you to introduce that yourself. This is a fine business to get into, but I will say the presentation can be a bit tiring if you don't let some of yourself come through. I try to act far more above my station than I originally was, and it wears on you. Just keep that in mind. If you're polite and respectful, you can act pretty much as you please.
Okay, I just want to make sure I represent, because this is your business, and I want to make sure we respect, what you prefer and how you like to have your business represented.
Well, I appreciate the thought.
Also,
I'm sure
do you have any materials picked out that you prefer that we use?
Yes, right. That's
something
right.
you'd prefer to get pushed, perhaps.
With what they pay, I'm not too worried about the pushing.
All right, I wasn't sure how yours worked.
They have gold and blue as their house colors, so they tend to prefer that in their outfits, or rather, their father tends to prefer it in their outfits.
All right.
I do have some lovely bolts over here, if you'd like to take a look.
Okay.
And he motions you over towards the back, and then pauses.
Get my way down.
Maybe one of your friends can help you.
Yeah.
I will assist.
Yep.
Perhaps your mother would also like to inspect these.
And come on, check it out.
But she nods, a little more relaxed now.
Yeah.
And she also looks to Carrot.
To handle it. He's like our servant boy at this point.
I am the assistant.
Yes, you're the assistant. Okay.
And she will take a lift from Carrick as well.
Okay, go check out this bolt. Oh, this is very nice. Oh, wow. Where is this from?
This is... Oh, no. Continent names.
It's from a continent that we... It's for another continent, right? So we'll just say that.
This is actually imported. This is imported from whatever Addy has decided that the Eastern continent is called.
Wow, I don't think I've ever seen cloth like this before.
Yes, it's very special. Look, you see, it's very light. Yes, almost like gossamer.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's like light like silk, but it seems very resilient.
Actually starts yanking and pulling and like something you think would tear most fabrics. Very, very, very tough.
Oh, that is quite lovely.
Yes, very expensive.
Oh, I bet.
But I wanted to see how you work with it.
Yep, I'm excited to try it. Is there any cuts that are preferred for dress and such with her, or should I direct that to the client?
I believe you should ask her what she wants. Keep in mind, no presentation, so nothing too.
Reeling.
Well, she's a child, so I wouldn't expect that anyway. But a degree of respectability to it. But give it a bit of fun flair for her.
All right. Need secret pockets. I'm gonna sage. That.
Secret pockets, indeed. No, this is of course for the girl. So I've already shown you her patterns,
Measurements.
although I'm sure you have to remeasure her. Always growing.
Oh yeah, that's the way children go.
Yes, but I want you to put your own flair to this.
Right.
You're not doing my work. You're doing your own work to show off your skills and attract attention to, well, who you are.
Of course, but I want to make sure I, pay proper respect because I very much appreciate the opportunity that you're allowing us to have.
Yeah, that's why I trust what you'll do. The fact that you're considering that means a lot.
Carrick and RG, after they get here, why don't you guys go off with Carrick's grandma? I think we'll get home okay. I kind of maybe we could take you up on that ride back.
Yes, like I said, I'd be happy to escort you back.
Okay. Well, is that okay with you, Mom? Give us a little extra time in the shop?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind hanging around here for a little longer as well.
Okay. Alright, so is that okay with you, RG and Carrick? And as Lynn, I think it's Carrick's grandmother's name?
Yes.
Lynn.
Yes.
Is it Lynn?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because I don't use her whole name because
Yeah, her name is long.
it's long.
Yeah, I say Lynn, and I'm kind of giving you a questioning look at her. I'm like, Lynn, is that alright?
She smiles and nods, sir. Yes, Lynn's fine. And
I'd love to get a chance to meet with you more later, because I have so many questions to ask you about your grandson.
well, I have a lot of questions for my grandson myself, so certainly if we can meet later, that'd be lovely. But I wouldn't mind some time.
Yeah, get some time together. I think that would be good. But I don't want to hog him up all day. I mean, I just need him to give a couple pretty spins and a smile.
Out of character, Carrick wishes he had invisibility now. He's concerned. He's getting a concern from this.
Did his grandfather's ears turn pink when he'd get embarrassed too?
She smiles softly and goes, "No, his great grandfather was well, no, polite company. No what?" And she sort of busies herself with glancing around the room.
It is not polite to eat the brownie. It is not polite to eat the
It's not polite.
Fling the brownie across the room.
Yeet.
He was not easily prone to embarrassment, I will say.
Okay. Carrick is.
Gonna find out I have like a half elemental relative.
And I kind of elbow my mom like I'm talking. I was kind of half talking to her, and I go, he's the shyest, flirtiest boy in town, right, Mom?
Yes.
Giving her the look.
I've never seen someone put so little effort into being so wanted. Quite. Okay. Well, they should be here any moment now. So, if you have any last-minute preparations you want to make.
Nope. I'll get everything going. I'm gonna go ahead and motion Dingus over and go. Okay. There's gonna be a little kid in here. And you gotta be super good, because she's a lady. And we're knights, so we have to be really good when there's a lady in the house, okay? So don't climb all over her.
Rotates one way, rotates the other.
Mm-hmm.
And then he sort of puffs his chest out and tries to look regal.
Yes, very regal. And then don't climb up on her, though, okay? You have very, very sharp claws. Yep,
and
you're very sharp.
Give her the look of like, don't tell him to do that to me.
You got dragon scales. I'm not worried about you.
They're out of character. They're not everywhere.
And from the front, there's a little ding of the shop's little bell above its door. And Edward looks at you and Carrick and Argy, and he sort of gestures out towards the front. For
I've
having
had
it out
time to
yourself.
change into the proper clothes, right?
You were in the outfit, I thought, or no? Wait, you would have had time to change.
If you didn't, you would have had time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually thought you gave him the outfit.
Yeah,
I,
he
I
had
know
the outfit.
Argy was already prettied up.
Yeah, Argy got the outfit from last night, but I thought mine was given to the tailor previously.
Yeah, it was kept at the tailor shop, so yeah.
Yeah, so I'd have to change. So I've changed.
Yeah, you've changed.
I am presentables.
All right. Well, I'm gonna
Oh,
motion
sorry.
RG and Carrick forward, and I'll just kind of go walking behind.
Okay. I will apologize. I did have a lovely description for these two written up, but
Oh no.
I'll have to give it to you next time. But I will give you a short of it. As you come into the front, you see a tall young man. Looks to be in his early 20s. Very, very well kept, brown hair. Looks to be styled in some fashion you've not seen. But it looks very, well, to be frank, it looks strange. It looks uppity. It looks noble. It must be hard to keep it that way. But he's got a very genuine, warm smile on his face as he comes in, and it's directed down to a little girl who's holding his hand. She's very much like him in hair color. There's a little bit of facial similarity, but it's far more feminine. And she looks. Oh God, what was her age?
I think you said she was 8.
Roughly that. Yeah, she looks to be about 7 to 8. And as Edward comes out, she actually is already doing a little curtsy, and her father sort of just nods his head respectfully. You're coming out with Gifton and Carrick? Botty?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Argy, is anyone taking Dingus, or is Dingus coming out by himself?
I'm
Or is he being told to stay put?
I'm motioning Dingus with me and having him follow. I'm just kind of having him kind of walk at heel.
Okay,
Kind of like,
so
even though he's faster than me, technically. Yeah.
Yeah. So Carrick Gifton is at your feet, sort of. It's a little bit of an awkward little walk along for him because he's a fast little thing and he's trying to keep pace. So
About partway
quick
through,
little
I'll probably
wobbles
just
and
mount up
moves.
and ride him because I'll direct him to stay on the ground for right now.
Okay. And Edward, he motions towards the two. May I introduce you to Lord Callan Capet and Lady Melina Capet? And Lord Capet, this is Carrick Mask,
Gonna bow.
Argy Fall,
Argy does a very bad curtsy.
Mhm.
Like one that looks like she hasn't used it in years.
Gifton Brotgren on her fierce steed.
And
Dingus.
I'm going to dismount at that and give a sweeping bow because I have never learned a curtsy right.
Yeah, Dingus, as you do that, will sort of flare his wings a little bit as if posing.
Yep.
And Botty Brotgren. Oh my God, Botty.
Buddy Brocken. Yeah, I know I did that to you.
God, alliteration. Gifton's mother and a fine tailor in her own right, I believe. Argy, I would like a perception roll from you.
That's it.
And Gifton,
16.
at the sight of you, the little girl's eyes clearly light up, like there is a wondrous excitement in them. But
Nice.
she's maintaining composure.
I'm giving her a sweet little wave and a wink.
Okay, and what was your roll, Kronos?
16.
16? At the mention of your name, there was a little tweak of curiosity on Capet's face. Callan seemed to take interest in your name.
An honor to meet
it's,
all of you. And then I'm going
And
to.
he'd like to meet all of you too. And Callan does actually do a deep bow to all of you.
I'm gonna walk over to the little girl, like doing that long little walk, and then I'm going, "For you, my lady," and I'm going to like pull a seed out and bloom it into a flower.
Okay, there is a little sort of gasp that she tries to stifle, but doesn't quite manage it. And she looks up at her father, who just nods and smiles, and she crouches down. She's wearing a very, very nice dress. There's a lot of what do you call it? The under ruffles.
Oh, so it's just like a cacophony of like material.
No, not just bloomers. Bloomers are the little short.
Bloomers are the very.
Yeah, I know
bottom,
what you mean by the ruffle, layers of ruffle and all that.
Her dress is poofy, not wedding cake poofy, but decently so.
Yeah.
So there's
Petticoat?
a petticoat.
Petticoat.
Yeah.
That's right.
There is a big displacement of fabric before you as she sort of crouches down and pushes that down to lean down and look closer, and she takes the flower and smiles broadly at you and goes, "Thank you, Miss."
I'm gifting Brocken.
It's an honor to meet you. And she sort of like reaches her hand out.
Yep.
And then like just extends a little pinky.
Yep. And I will put my hand on her pinky. The pleasure is mine. And then I will do kind of the same thing, where I'll go over to the gentleman and I'll pull a flower, make another flower, and say, "For you, sir."
And he too kneels down and takes it from you, and he's like, "Thank you, my lady. I'm sorry, I've never seen one of your kind before. It's
okay. We don't go out very much.
Are there any customs of yours that I should be aware of? I don't want to cause disrespect."
She kind of looks over at her mom. This usually doesn't happen, so I think you're gonna be fine. I apologize that we don't get out amongst your folks very much, so I might not understand some things. So.
I fully understand. Please don't concern yourself. Treat me as you would one of your own folk. And you good sir. Herrick, was it?
Yes, sir.
He stands up and very, very carefully, giving you lots of room gift, and moves around you. Yep. Not in the ignoring you way, but
no, I move off to the side. And I'm gonna go stand over by the little girl because I'm pretty sure she just wants to hang out close to me anyway.
And he reaches his hand out to shake yours, Carrick.
I shake his hand in return.
I understand you must be a companion of the Brookrens?
I am, yes.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. And you,
pleasure to meet you, sir.
Miss Fowl, was it?
Oh, yes, it did.
Pleasure to meet you as well. And he takes your hand, Argy, and holds it up and actually kisses it.
Argy nods her head, being respectful in that.
And as he kisses it, his eyes look up at you, and it's not just meeting your gaze, it's inspecting, it's looking over you, searching. But then he lets go of your hand, and steps back. Alasanor tells me that you're very talented tailors.
We have. I'm gonna kind of motion that Carrick's wearing the outfit I made yesterday at the shop to show Mr. Alathanal my skill, and I made RG's outfit last night. She had an unfortunate accident with a lot of water, and she just looks like she's having a little bit of a giggle. She goes, hijinks ensued, and a new outfit was required.
Many disaster requires a new outfit.
We're survivors from Tarnstead, if you're familiar.
Yes, I have heard of that tragic event. I am deeply sorry for your losses.
Yes, I'm afraid we were a bit displaced in trying to find our way.
Well, you couldn't find a finer place to do your craft if that's what you wish. Alasanor has been here a long time and is very well respected.
I feel like there's a lot he could teach me.
Oh, I'm sure. The fact that he has vouched for you means a great deal as well. Melina, what do you think of these outfits? And his little girl comes forward, and she actually clasps her hands behind her back as she's like she's genuine.
Great, we have a critic. Not saying that out loud or in character.
I don't know many of the new fashions, but I'm very interested in them.
Let's see. Augie and Carrick. She is looking over the outfits, but are you going to try and do anything to enhance this at all?
Yes. Brain.
Take RG's hand and do a nice pose.
Oh God. I'm just imagining how well this is gonna work between the two of us.
Well, you probably look like you're ready for a nice night out.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I'm more imagining it being Argy and Carrick.
I know. There's gonna be discussions with your grandmother later.
Do you want us to do a perform check for this?
I do want you to do a perform check.
Okay.
How
do you want us to both do performs, or
I want one of you choose who's taking the lead and who's following.
You have a higher charisma than I do.
I was just say
I can look at your stats right now, and I can see someone has an 8 and someone has a 15. Can you guess who?
So one of you will be rolling with advantage because of help from the other.
Okay. I will roll with advantage. Where's performance? And
oh my God!
Is it bad?
No, it was great. Actually, it's a 12.
I mean,
shut up.
I mean, I can inspire this.
Yeah, you might want to inspire that one.
You're gonna inspire.
It was a 9, Allie.
Yeah, a 9 and a 6. I have a +4, so that tells you how great I rolled. So we're gonna inspire. That's actually thanks, Sam. We got that 12 Sam called for.
Okay, 12. That's fine enough. She's a little girl. She's easily impressed. As you both take up a pose, as if you're about to, go into a ball and dance, her smile widens, and she sort of leans up to her father in what she assumes is a whisper, but you can all very clearly hear.
I told you that.
I will point out that is a masterwork dress on Archie.
Yes. And she says to her father, "They look like Delan and Erisfield." And he crooks an eyebrow, and a fun little smile crosses his face, and he nods. And do you actually say that, Becky?
No. That's an out of character. Hopefully that's a good thing. Hopefully that's not like a bad thing. Oh, that's the murderers.
And he goes, "So you like them?" And she nods enthusiastically. And he goes, "Oh, good. She has a fine eye." He says, "Yeah, just it's not entirely convincing, but he likes to say it about her." But he himself does actually move forward and inspect the outfits more than just your overall appearance. May I take a look at the stitchwork? It says, "Reaching out for your arm, Carrick."
Absolutely, sir. And he's going to extend his arm.
And he takes your arm and he sort of like flips the cuff inside out, and he just looks over it in general and goes, "This is very, very nicely done." And how long have you been doing this?
4 years, 3 years, something like that. I mean, my mom taught me to sew a long time ago, but I've only been able to work on non-brownies for a shorter amount of time, and I have recently started working with people who are awake. She kind of gives a kind of a shy smile.
He gives you a questioning look.
We don't like to be seen, so usually we would try to guess how big somebody is, and then we would leave them outfits as a gift. So it's usually a lot of scurrying around in the dark. This is a lot easier when everyone holds still really nice.
Well, apparently that adversity in your craft has paid off. This is I would have expected this kind of work from someone, well, who's been practicing a lot longer. Might even compare to yours, and that's not all. And Edward smiles and nods. And so, yes, I've been quite interested in purchasing a dress for Melina here. And Melina apparently wasn't informed of this because her eyes go wide and she looks up at her father, and there is a bit of an excited bounce as she goes, "I'm getting a fairy dress!" and
And I look over at my mom and give her this look of like, this is the cutest thing I have gotten to see in my life.
And he replies ready, "Yes, darling, you're getting a fairy dress." And he gives you an apologetic look, Gifton.
I think that would be the most appropriate way to say it.
Quite. Is there any particular way you do this?
Just pretend I'm a regular tailor and don't giggle too much when I tickle you on the way.
Okay, well, now is a good time.
It's a good one for me. Carrick and Archie, I don't want to keep you. I know you have things to do. I'll meet you later.
Absolutely.
Archie, we'll get fruit juice later, okay?
Archie just kind of goes up like, okay.
Okay, I'll miss you.
It's like, I don't know, lunch?
I'm gonna step over to
Grandma.
No, to Edward.
Mm-hmm.
And is it okay if I change back into my normal clothes in your back room, sir?
Oh, certainly. You go ahead. My beautiful grandmother's still back there as well. Actually, does he know that? Yeah, he knows it. She's your echo grandmother.
Yeah.
Yes. Even though she did let slip something.
If you'd like, I can let you out back as well. Not that I'm at all ashamed of you leaving through my front, but we're going to start in here.
I was just saying, no problem, sir. That way I won't be in the way of Gifton and her mother's work.
You start getting changed, and I'll be with you shortly. And he actually moves to the front, and he actually starts to pull down blinds, and he puts a little wooden sign on the door behind the blinds, so it's actually
visible outside.
It's a little glass work that says closed for fitting.
Nice.
And you're able to go back and change. Argy, do you have anything to change into, or are you just going to go back like that?
Argy's just intending to keep this on. She didn't actually bring her other outfit with her.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
if anything, I can mend it if you mess it up. So we can clean it up. It's not that big a deal.
She immediately accidentally steps in a puddle and then falls into a large mud pile.
I mean, Archie's dressed to the nines right now. She's wearing a masterwork, like, very rich-looking outfit with her hair done up and everything. She's clean.
Well, it actually make her presentable.
Your mother, Gifton, she sort of leans over to you and goes, "Do you want my help, or are you okay?"
I wouldn't mind the pointers.
Oh, okay. What about Care? Should we send him off with the others, or?
Hey, Care, do you want to stay here with us, or do you want to go with them?
What would you like me to do, Gifton? I mean, I don't want to intrude, but I don't know. Going off is
I was gonna say, why don't you stay here with me so we could spend a little more time together?
Yeah, I'd like that. I'd like that. And he nods, and Dingus leans in close to him and lets out a little.
A little like that.
Yeah.
Like a sniff sniff.
Little nostril breath.
Dingus is happy that you're staying too.
I'm still picturing Dingus as that fucking lizard from Rescue Down Under.
Hi, Dingus, and he sort of like reaches a hand out and very awkwardly pats Dingus's nose. Let's see. Right, you're able to get changed, Carrick. Your grandmother watches you, and she's like, "Are we leaving?"
Yeah. Gifton is fitting the young lady for a dress. So myself and Argy are done for now.
Oh, okay. Grand. So we can. What would you like to go do? Unless you need time to yourself. I mean, I don't want to suggest you have to
No,
spend time with me, but
no, I'm good. The others are investigating some stuff, but I don't know where they went. So
investigating.
yeah, I'll tell you when we're not in a little quieter place.
Oh, okay.
He's gonna nicely fold up the clothes, well, or hang them where they were, whatever it was before he put them on, and what roughly what time is it by this point? Because
It's about noonish, yeah.
So lunchish time.
Maybe a bit of a late lunch, but
okay. Well, we were in
yeah.
doing pastries and stuff, but I figure, I'm trying not to make that
It was
lunch.
far more snacky. It
Yeah.
was.
We could go grab lunch. Could go back to where we're staying, or go to the Meaty Soup Bone. Don't know why I have such a entertaining with that name on a character.
Or you could
Great
take her
fucking
shopping,
name.
or you could do all sorts of things.
Well, it's lunchtime though.
But what about you, Avi? I mean, you're coming along, right?
I'd be good for food. I just wanted to ask the fellas before we left.
Certainly. The food sounds good then. And
You know.
it's not long until Edward actually comes out back, and
Oh, it wasn't Edward she wanted to ask. It was Dad.
Okay. If you want to head back out, if you go for it,
Yeah,
how do you?
she'd actually just get it up to herself and just kind of tap my shoulder like, "Excuse me, I want that."
Yes, my lady.
Well, I noticed for a fact I said my name. You gave me a heck of a look. Do you recognize my name?
Forgive me. I did not mean to come off as rude. You're from the.
Oh no,
the
nothing of the sort. The thing is I don't know the meaning of my last name. My parents just told me that's what it was.
Oh, my mistake then. Well, your name is an awful lot like a noble house further north. We've had minor trade dealings with them.
She's gonna kind of go like, are they elves too?
They've got some elven in their house. Yes, they're actually mixed.
Do you know if they ever had a kid named Fenno?
I'm afraid I don't know the tree itself. I just know of their name.
Yeah, because my parents always told me they came from up north, but they ended up in Tarnstead for whatever reason. Every time I pressed, they usually got slapped on the head.
Well, it's not too unusual to get repeated names. It was just it caught my attention.
Okay, well, thank you.
Of course. And he gives you a polite little bow.
She'll give a polite kind of curtsy back, still rusty as all hell.
Yep.
And then go off with the others.
All right. Edward will lead you to a little back door. Just goes into a little back alley. But I will be sure to take good care of your friend. You are, of course, all welcome back yourselves whenever you want.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for putting on such a nice presentation.
Our pleasure.
Well, it's the least we could do, try and help.
And he smiles and bids you good day, and the door closes.
Then Allie turns to Sam and goes, "So you're rolling a new character."
It sounded two deadbolts.
Yep. And now we're going to go over to the other group. Corvus, Cassiopeia, and Faldia. You were heading back to the King's Mercy, right? Am I mistaken?
I believe that was. Did we stop in the alleyway?
We stopped in the alleyway to have a bit of a heart-to-heart, I was guessing.
I remember you stopped to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, after the scared away chase. Yeah.
Yes. Whatever was said last week, we'll carry it from there. It seems as good as any. So you're in this alleyway. You know you've shaken your pursuit, so scared it off with a rather unorthodox method, but it worked. And yeah. What would you like to do?
So you tried to talk to the stoneworker, and you got a tail for it.
It would appear so. I asked the wrong questions, obviously. And I might have done it a bit not too subtle.
Alright. Well, that's going to make that a harder thing to follow up on.
Right. Though, it may just be jumping to conclusions, but why would I have a tail if something was not suspicious?
Well, what questions did you ask?
I only asked about if they worked on the King's Mercy, as far as stonework, and asked about what sort of location those stones had came from. And he got, understandably, he got defensive, not wanting to divulge his source to a potential competition, I would presume. And he asked what was my interest in it all. And I told him I was investigating, and then he kind of shut down after that.
Right.
Though he shut down and became very defensive. Right, understandably so, I would imagine, but it was all very sort of sudden.
Out of character, I can't remember. Did you tell them you were staying at the King's Mercy?
I don't think I did.
Okay.
No, he didn't.
Okay, because I couldn't remember. And I was like, oh shit, did that happen?
No, I didn't. I said I was looking into the King's Mercy, but not staying there. And then I, snuck around back to try to listen in on a few things, and that's when that guy saw me and told me to leave. I left, and it seems like he continued to follow.
So it might have had nothing to do with the fact that you were asking the wrong questions and the fact that you were skulking around and they wanted to find out why.
Possibly.
Right. So
We're gonna just find out those dwarves are racist against humans.
who isn't?
He dressed very jokingly businesslike.
Jokingly businesslike.
It did not fit his sort of demeanor. It didn't match. It didn't look professional or neat. He was trying. He was trying to be something that he wasn't. It seemed like.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well,
now it could have been just very tight clothing. But it just didn't fit right on him.
He was peacocking. It's something of a sales technique. When you want to show that your goods are better than they might actually be, you dress up and you put and go as ostentatious as possible. And people see that you have money and wealth, and they figure that your goods have to be good enough to be able to afford that.
Mm.
And probably when you came up asking the initial right questions, he thought you might be someone actually looking to buy. And that's why they brought him out instead of someone else.
Well, I asked him. I asked for him.
Oh. Never mind.
That would do it. If you asked for them, they would expect you were probably doing it for
business,
a
yes.
good reason.
But I can't help but shake there is a underlying suspicion now.
Well, yes. But sending you back in isn't really going to resolve it.
Nor you two, because obviously they seen you two. Or at least the tail did. Yes?
Yeah, but we don't have to worry that much about whether or not they'll go after Bana.
I'm gonna eat the dwarf.
Yes, please eat the dwarf.
We might be able to sell them as rivals with a common enemy. But not the best idea. So, did you get any actual information that tells us anything?
I'm gonna step AFK because you hit the restroom.
Actually, no.
Well, we've got a lot of paperwork you could go through if you'd like to do that.
I would happily go through the paperwork at this point. I have a keen eye for details, but my mannerisms are still of a work in progress, I suppose. Yes? Well, did you have any luck?
We found some suspicious destruction in the crypt.
Whole area's destroyed.
Missing rock and such. But there's a lot of paperwork to go through to see what was there.
Well, yeah. Do you have it with you, or is it at the Amoran Temple?
It's at the temple. I'm sure they'd be happy to help out.
Right. Is the way to the temple there's not a direct route on the streets?
Let me see. Trying to remember exactly where we ended up.
I think we're like around here, alley-wise. Or we may be here.
Yeah, I think it was.
At this point, it really doesn't matter because I can't see the map anyway.
Yeah.
Allie,
Mm-hmm.
are there restaurants or food stalls in this area?
Probably.
Around House Terrace.
There wouldn't be the inns are basically the restaurants, so you should be able to see those marked on the map. But you can find food stalls most places.
Okay. Well,
I'm sure.
I don't know about you two, but I'm hungry, and I'm going to go get something to eat. And she starts trotting off back towards our inn.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good idea. The temple's that way. And I'll gesture towards the temple.
Right. Okay. Well,
Or you can come back to the inn. Up to you.
no, I don't. I don't think that would be very wise, considering that if I go to the end and there's still a bit of interest on me, I may jeopardize other activities. I may see myself in the Amoran Temple.
If you go to the temple and you have interest in you'll be all by yourself.
Which way to the temple?
I'm back.
Gesture in that direction.
Okay. Allie.
I'm Maddie.
So I would like to go to the temple, but not go on the direct route to the temple. Would that be at all possible? And if so, what role?
Let's see. I'm pretty sure there's back alleys.
Yeah, there's a bunch of back alleys out there, but finding my way through
them. Just give me a stealth roll with advantage.
Okay. Uh, 18.
18.
I'm assuming you'd have to cut down this way because you wouldn't want to do it by House Terrace. Or if you went by House Terrace, that would be pretty bad.
Yeah, you managed to find your way to the temple, and give me a perception check and tell me your passive.
Passive is 13.
Mm-hmm.
Natural 20. 23.
Okay. You do not see anybody following you. You do not see anybody that really spots you. There are people that glance down the alley sometimes, and there's a few people loitering about themselves, but they pay you no mind. You're just walking down alleyways. It's no biggie.
Okay.
And you're able to make it to the temple. Unfortunately, to get into the temple, you will have to go out onto the main street, but you do check, and there doesn't seem to be anyone suspect.
Yeah, it's not to loiter on the main roads for very long, just to dash in.
Yep, and you're able to dash in. Okay. Right, you're heading in there.
Yep.
The other two are heading back to the tavern, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Goodbye, Corvus.
It was knowing you.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Time to say goodbye?
Let's see.
Time.
For ease of Annie, we're going to see if there's a serendipitous timing. Carrick And Argy,
Yes.
give me perception check each, please.
I don't know, you've been run over by a cart.
And it was being hauled by a reindeer.
With a red nose.
Carrick has a 19. RG has a 14.
Oh no, Grandma was run
Wait,
over by a
passive
reindeer.
Passive 15. Okay. All right. What did you say it was, Carrick?
Yeah, the
19.
19. Okay. As you're walking along the street with your grandmother, you're talking about amongst yourselves where to go eat, but I'm pretty sure I know where. But you're considering your options. Yeah, along the street towards the Temple of Immoor, because I'm pretty sure it's sightline from the tailor shop to that, right?
It's
It's
that
a
long
it's a
way down to the
bit.
street. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 buildings. It's on a different street path.
But they've got to come up to that corner to go up to meet the bone, or is it from
No,
the
they
tailor shop
can
up
they
to
go
the
up
bone?
from past House Landor and then can go on another street, or they can go straight across onto the main byway.
Okay, in that case, this probably wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
was gonna say, isn't the tailor like right here?
Yeah.
Taylor's
So
at the purple.
do they go
Yeah,
north or do they go south?
Theoretically, would.
Well, if they're going to the meeting soup bone, they're going north, and you were over here, right, towards.
No, we were by House Terrace, and then I dashed over to number 7.
Well,
So
Which isn't very far. The point is that we're not really in line of sight of where you
yeah,
are we going to the meaty soup bone, or are we going back to the inn?
Cassie said she was going back to the.
I said we were going back to our inn, but the thing is that could be
no.
our
You guys
inn.
are heading back to the inn.
Yeah.
But the Carrick and
RG group.
RG are heading to the meeting bone. Those are the ones
Yeah.
I'm worried about
So
right
they're the ones heading north.
But they're unlikely to see you then. So
Yeah, in that case.
never mind that. Okay.
I'm using my 19 to admire the architecture as we walk.
Yeah. You even spot a couple of places you might like to check out. Goods wise, I will give. Oh, actually, this is a good opportunity. So, Carrick.
Yes.
You've been studying your little book of thievery.
Mm-hmm.
You see a man wearing it was at one point a nicely made suit.
Okay.
It's now pretty worn. It's frayed at the cuffs. It's basically it's dingy by now. It should have been thrown out long ago by anyone with any station.
Okay.
And may have been inquired by this gentleman. We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But he is standing in such a way and seems to be wearing a neckerchief in a very specific fashion.
Yeah.
And basically, you realize that this is essentially advertised non-verbal code. This is someone that's presented themselves in such ways that those in the know. He's essentially a fence.
So he's blocking off someone's yard.
Yes.
Sorry, I couldn't skip saying that.
Now is he white picket?
He's very
Privacy.
specifically the fence. It's good at protecting things.
Yeah. You can make note of his location. You can make note of what it looks like.
Okay.
Take a look at it if you wish. If you don't want to deal with it now, it's something you'll be able to remember.
Whereabouts did I see him?
Somewhere along the street, because again, can't see the map.
It's somewhere between the tailor shop and the meaty soup bone.
Probably. This is very arbitrary. It's
Okay. So I grab my pen and my book.
Now
We could say somewhere around this corner. Just make it easy.
Yeah.
Where's that, Ellie?
But we'll nail it down specifically back when Ellie actually has access to the map.
No problem. Okay. Fence. The right words. Wood. Born. Fancy suit. that needs mending.
Back to we'll deal with Faldir and Cassiopeia first. You guys make your way back to the King's Mercy without incident, unless you wish to divert yourselves. And you're free to, of course.
I don't think we are.
What's that?
Are we going to divert ourselves on the way back to the King's Mercy, or are we just going straight there?
Well, let me get over to the computer. I was up and away trying to cool down a little bit because
Not
my
that I'm
equipment
hinting
is-
that you should, just providing. I'm not trying to railroad you.
Okay, so they were there.
She told us she can run you over with a train.
Basically, in this general area, we're going here. There's a temple on the way if we want to stop by, but aside from that, there is nothing else marked on the map.
And it's Tamari,
And-
isn't it?
Now let's
Yes.
just make it back to the King's Mercy.
Okay.
As you get back to the King's Mercy, you start to walk along the street towards it, and you see a familiar sight across the street from the King's Mercy. And it is the dwarven fella that was tailing Corvus. He seems to be the building, taking up and down the street every now and then. Doesn't seem to have spotted you.
I'm going to turn off the street because it sounds like he's right in front of it, kind of camping it out.
Yeah, he's not directly across from it, but he is within good sight of it. He's keeping an eye on it without trying to seem like he is,
Mm-hmm. And that area is rife with back alleys. We might be able to sneak up on him.
Do you want to try? We're not the stealthiest people.
Well, if nothing else, we might be able to. We might be able to catch him.
What are you
And
gonna
then
do with
what?
him when you catch him? Because out of character, I'll remind you, we're in a lawful town.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just going to hook my arm around his and go, let's have a talk.
Okay.
About what?
It's that sort of, yeah, we're going to go talk. I'm going to feed
but the
you.
question
We're going to talk.
What is our play here?
Yeah, that.
Well, we know he was following someone we know.
Yeah.
After he
and
was
we
caught
just wanna-
spying, because you know that's what he
Yeah.
got caught doing.
And now he's kind of camping out where we're staying, and that's kind of interesting.
If
So, you'd like-
anything, I'd suggest we avoid this spot for now.
Ow. Okay.
If we're looking for food, yeah, meaty soup bone seems the best option now.
Yep.
Well, as you are both talking, you see the dwarven fella. He does another little check around. Then he doesn't check his wrist because he don't have watches. But he does look up at the sky as he's trying to judge the time of day. And then he puts his hands in his pockets, starts whistling, and starts to actually head towards the King's Mercy.
I look at Thaldir. I don't think we're going to the meaty soup bone.
No, looks like we're not.
And we don't have any of those special little stones to call others.
Well,
Actually,
do.
you do.
But
Yeah, we
they're
can
not
call each
terribly
other.
effective. Especially because we already used them, but
I'm
since
just
we
saying,
used
it's
them
adorable
earlier.
right now.
if only we had like a pet that we could send to talk to the others. Like a pigeon or something.
I'm sorry, I'm already in a tailor shop and I've been left behind.
Well, luckily, we've only split up into 4 groups of at most 2 people each.
Well, let's wait here for a second because he whistled. Others might pile in.
No, I just assumed he was whistling because he's working.
Must be a happy job.
It's a dwarven thing. You wouldn't understand.
He enters the King's Mercy.
He went into the King's Mercy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Allie, if I ask you to repeat, it's just because you're very hollow and quiet to me, even though I have you turned up.
Yep, I understand my audio quality is not the best, so don't worry. You can ask me to repeat anything. Except
All right.
I don't know that.
So, shall we go?
Are we sure we want to do this direct? Or... No, that's about the only way we can do it anyways.
Yep.
Yep. Oh, jeez. I should
Out
check
of
on
character,
Claw for
you
a
could
moment.
play this and be like, were you with that guy that was on the street? You should ask him if he knows Corvus and ask if he's staying there.
I actually thought about that and I figured it wouldn't work, but now that someone else is thinking about that.
The one
All
problem is that you're going to go in there and Elias is going to give you guys away.
Maybe. Elias might already be giving us away.
Or he might be getting plummeled.
I should check really quickly on Klopp before we might get into trouble. You want to watch the entrance, or do you want to go confront him first?
I'll watch the entrance, but while you're back at the cart, can you grab my hand axe?
Sure you don't want this? And I'll just lift one of the 2 hammers that I bought.
Cut off a leg, break a leg. Which one are we going for?
You can see Addie's eyes widening in alarm.
It's only a light hammer.
Allie has no computer. Combat is bad.
No, combat's fine.
Oh, I figured that's what the eyes widening was about.
No, I think it's more or less that they would basically be assaulting some random guy when we're adventurers with extra info problems.
I can work with this though.
Okay.
It goes that way.
I'm not advocating attacking somebody.
Oh no, I have
you
no
may
intention,
want
but
a
if he
weapon
comes...
to defend yourself.
and if he
I've
decides to come at
suggested
us...
an innocuous weapon rather than
Cassiopeia has
something
hooves.
that might be harder to. Well, yeah.
It's my woodworker's axe. It's not the big. It's not the big
We're
one.
in a city.
It's
Yeah,
still
not-
sharp and murdery versus.
We're in a city.
And I am a carpenter. I have every right to have one of these things.
It's still murder.
Right, guys, save it for the gods.
All right,
Let's continue.
yeah, let's leave it for the guards.
Okay,
Don't worry about it.
so I offered the hammer.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take a hammer.
Okay.
It's harder to explain off a hammer than my axe, but I'll take the hammer.
What are you talking about? Wooden pegs. You have to tap them
build
in.
things out of carpet. Yeah, you were working on the cart. I assumed you used a hammer at some point.
You have to use a hammer and a mallet on
I
that.
mean, she technically could have used her hooves again.
Yeah, I guess you could. That'd be awkward though for some.
Right,
Anyway.
so who's going where?
All right, I am going to the stable
To check on Klopp.
where. Yes.
Klopp is very happy to see you. He snorts and sort of nods his head up and down happily. That usual horse, yay. And then starts noticing a bucket that you suspect had feed in it, as if hinting.
Rations are mostly made out of.
Not for horses.
We had
Yes.
we actually had several days worth of horse feed that's in the wagon,
Yeah.
And we have feed, so you can probably just get it out of the wagon.
I will rustle through the wagon.
Okay, you start digging out some feed for Klopp. Cass, what are you doing?
I'm waiting for him and keeping an eye on the building.
She's replaced the dwarf as person watching the front of the building.
Okay. Unfortunately, you're a lot less blendy in than the dwarf is, and you do get some odd looks because you're just centaur standing watching the building. But that's not against the law. And eventually, Fowler is able to get Crop situated. Crop does notice at you a bit. He wants a little bit of attention, but a few pats on his neck, and he's happy to resume eating. And you're able to make your way back to Cass. Crop is fine.
Hooray! The horse that we ignored for a session. All right. Hopefully we don't have to make a fast getaway. And let's go in, I guess.
Okay. All right. Immediately as you open the door, you can see at the bar is Elias. He's behind the bar, and he seems to just be chatting with the dwarf that walked in, who is currently seated at the bar with a pint of ale, presumably. And they just seem to be talking. Elias seems familiar with him.
Since he helped build this fucking bar.
Yes.
Yeah.
And as he come in, Elias looks over and sort of raises a hand in greeting. He's like, Warhammer, and what was your second name? I apologize.
Is he talking to him or me?
Guys.
I'm assuming Steel Shod is who he's
Steel
talking to.
Shod.
Miss Steel Shod, welcome back. Can I get you anything?
What do you have for lunch?
Well, I've got some bread and cold meat.
Yes.
I can use a drink.
I'll get you that as well. And the dwarf actually turns on his seat and raises a mug to you both. Just in a general greeting.
I would raise one in response, but I don't yet have a drink, so...
Elias is currently pouring a mug for you. Mr. Steelshod, can I get you a drink?
Water, please.
Right. The small ale, do?
Yeah.
Marvellous. And he will give you a watered down ale so you don't die from bad water. And he places those on the countertop and puts his hands down on it. It's like, okay, I'll go get you your food. The rest of your group coming?
Mm-mm.
Okay, I'll be right with you then. And he moves on out. Where are you sitting?
Well,
Not
as there's really only one major place that I can fit, I'm going to the big donut table in the center.
Okay.
Donuts.
I mean, you can move a stool away from the bar and just stay there if you want, but
I was thinking we'd sit near the bar.
Yeah, actually, that's a better idea. I will move a stool and just be the large creature at the bar.
Just hover at the bar, looming.
And the dwarf considers you both and goes, yeah, you both staying here. Or just aims for a lip meal. Elias seems to know you.
Seems a nice enough place to stay. And these drinks are a reasonable price.
Yeah, it's a nice place to come and have a drink. He says in a way, doesn't. Roll insights, please.
All right. I accidentally closed my
So that should be an 11 or a 12 for me.
21 for me.
Okay. Faldia. He says nice place to have a drink, but he does not seem relaxed here. He does not seem comfortable here. He doesn't seem to be particularly enjoying his ale, and you kind of suspect he's probably not actually bothered to stop in and drink here before.
So, what brings you to this town?
Oh, I live here.
Ooh.
What about you folks?
Traveling craftspeople.
Oh, craftspeople. What's your craft?
Carpenter. Gesture over at the carpenter.
I raise my hand.
Ah, work with wood. Any challenges with that? He says, sort of gesturing over at your form.
There was only really one instance. Me and scaffolding really don't get along. And people behind me on scaffolding really don't get along.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be there myself. What about you? He says, pointing at you, Faldia.
This and that. I could work at Forge if necessary.
Forge, that's good. General handyman, though?
Yep. Makes it easier to get a little bit of work wherever you go.
If you're looking for work, we always like to find our own kind. Ever worked with stone?
Yeah, of course I've worked with stone. What am I, a youngling?
You ever need a bit of work, you come down to the docks. Good docky's business, you know of it?
I think I might have heard the name.
No, I'm sure you must have. We're the best in town, best in the region. So, you're staying here then, yeah?
Yep. No.
Just you folks or anyone else?
A couple others. We formed a slight little caravan. It was easier to get around.
Other traders?
Yeah.
But must not be tight knit there. Well, you're not with them.
Yeah, it's more a matter of convenience. Easier to afford hotel.
Yeah, I understand that. Any other good craftsmen in your good? Why don't you tell me a bit about them? I mean, could always do with knowing who the handymen around here are.
Well, there's the brewer.
Oh, you got a brewer. Good one.
Yeah.
What's he like?
Oh, you know. One of those who likes to try their supply.
Nothing wrong with that. They one of ours or more subpar?
Surprisingly good for a slittier.
Really?
Slittier?
They're all about their fancy little wines and stuff usually.
I don't know where they get it from.
What's his name then?
Argy.
Argy. I have to keep an eye out. What about you? What about you two? What are your names, Bono?
God damn, Bowie.
I hate how you slipped that in there. I really hate how you slipped that in there.
I said it, so I had to preempt it.
Thank you. Though, dear,
Foldy, nice to meet you. And you, lady?
After the way he's been talking, she's looking down. She's literally gone back straight and giving him the downward glance. For you, my fine dwarf, it's Miss Steelshod.
Pleasure to meet you, Miss Stillshod, he says, sort of lifting his drink again, and he's got this wide, sleazy grin. That's mostly hidden by his beard, but you can see that lift at the corners.
That's his fetish.
He's into big girls.
Them monster girls.
You said a couple of others. They're the only trader, or?
What was that?
Yeah, you said there were a couple of others. Are they the only other trader, or got any other professionals?
Not really. Picked up
Just
just a couple of other strays. They were able to help out here and there.
Yeah. Well, it's always good to have a bit of helping hands, even if they aren't trained.
As I said, matter of convenience. Haven't been with them long. Just long enough to make a bit of coin, get to the next town.
Oh, I'll keep you in mind if we need anyone with your talents. You ever need any stone carving services? Again, down by the docks.
Nice.
And he actually drowns the rest of his drink and hops off at the stall and goes, "Well, I better get back. It's a pleasure meeting you folks."
After an outfit like that, I should buy you around.
Oh, I wouldn't say no to that. And he actually
free beer.
Yep. Barman, 2 more.
Yep, certainly. And Elias comes back out. He's just carrying a cutting board that has a bunch of meat and a loaf of bread on it. And he sits down on the counter and he's like, help yourselves, you know. And he then starts to pour another round of drinks.
Cassiopeia, as soon as that cutting board is set down, and I assume it's with a knife, she is making a shaggy sandwich.
Okay.
Just that massive pile of sandwich and then squashing it down and taking a chomp.
But you have such a small percentage of his power.
Yes, I need to gain it by eating the way he does.
That'd be fair. He only used a small percentage of power in the first place.
And you said you had some tag-alongs. Are they looking for work?
Probably. Could explain why they're not here.
I like to be a helpful fella. Maybe you can tell me about them. Might see if I can. I know quite a few people. Could get them some work somewhere.
As I said, there's the brewer. I'm sure you could put him to use elsewhere. Seems decent with the hands. We've got another. One of them fancy boys.
Well, fancy boys. You mean fancy? Do you mean like
the girls seem to love them.
Oh, okay, like that, right. I'm sure you could find these places at a tavern somewhere around here. What's his name?
I just call him Boy. He used to work at a pub.
Well, I'm sure you can find this place here then. What's he look like?
Going to finish off the drink that I was drinking.
Mhm.
Just kind of nudge Cassie. It's like, I'm drinking at the moment. Answer the question for me. Style. Move.
She's mumbling through her mouth through the sandwich.
Yeah, come on.
So basically, they're
And
stalling. I can translate BS for you. They're stalling?
Caspiopia actually swallows her sandwich.
Mhm.
Oh, you mean, Valdir, are you talking about Mr. Little Heartthrob?
Yeah, that's the one. Excuse me.
That. Well, he's a really kind of nosy guy. Really irritates all of us.
Ah,
Human,
get on
kind
well
of
with him.
short cropped hair. Thinks he's all that.
What's his name?
And
You must know him better than our friend Dwarfy.
sadly, she smiles. I've really only ever known him as Swoon. And she does the fluttery eyes and kind of is actually thinking about Carrick while trying to describe
Corvus.
Yes.
Yeah. So he's staying here with you then?
As I said, matter of convenience. Easier to deal with.
I understand. I've travelled with many groups I don't particularly like myself before. Well, he quickly polishes off the rest of his drink and sets the empty mug down. Appreciate the drink, my friend. If I see you again, the next one will be on me.
Much obliged.
And he gives you a little wave, hops down, and puts his hands in his pockets, and starts to walk off, whistling to himself. See you around, Elias. And Elias, yeah, feel free to come back anytime. And he leaves.
I looked right at Thaldir. He was probing for information. A lot of it, too, and being rather blatant.
I'm gonna sit back slightly and then look over at our lovely host. And he knows this one quite well.
Yeah, he worked on the building.
Mm-hmm.
Something up that was kind of weird.
He's not normally in here, is he?
No, I haven't really seen him since the construction finished. It's a nice little surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just asked how the building was holding up, and it's nice to see a craftsman checking in.
Of course. Well, thank you for the delightful meal.
Yes.
Again, sorry, it's not more. You want another drink, or?
I think I need to keep my faculties for the moment.
I understand. Did you have a good day? God, I need to get some music in here.
I've heard of this thing where you put a little gremlin in a box and it'll just sing whatever you want it to. Just have to hit the box enough. I should go find some of the others. Thank you again.
Yeah, no problem. See you later, I suppose.
Oh, any idea where I might be able to get more feed for my horse?
More feed for your horse? Yeah. He describes the location of general stores.
Yep, fair enough. That is entirely reasonable.
Nice.
Yeah. I can't give that.
Even if you had the map at your behest, that would have been an entirely reasonable response.
He tells you a few spots you can get a feed. He tells you that up at the northern gates, just outside of them, there's a place he particularly recommends because it tends to be cheaper and decent quality than the rest.
Good to know.
Oh, Mr. Edward?
Just call me Edward. What's up?
Is there some? Do you know of someplace I can actually work on our caravan without angering everyone around us? And she smiles sweetly.
Honestly, you could probably hire out a little spot in the yard, down by the docks. There's plenty of workplaces around there.
That's actually
I'm
a good
pretty
idea.
sure one of the carpenters down there would be happy to let you use his tools and such for a bit of coin.
Well, I have all my gear, but no, I just need. I have all the materials I really need. It's just I need some place to work because everyone gets really mad at me when I work.
Oh, well, it's nice work, so I understand. Hire out some spot down by the docks, or well, I suppose you can always go outside the gates.
No, the down by the docks sounds like a fine idea. She's got this.
You said that very strangely.
It's
Yeah,
like
she's
a
got this.
1990s
I think it's you,
sitcom
boy,
or
look
something.
here.
And then she freeze frames for a moment.
And this is when you knew Parker Lewis fucked up.
Right.
As I'm assuming Thaldir and I are going to leave now?
That's what I'm assuming, but I don't know. Are you guys going to leave?
Yes.
Okay.
Where are you heading?
Thaldir, I'm going to go down to the docks and talk to a couple of the carpenters, see if I can actually rent a work area.
Good idea.
I really want to get this caravan built so I can work on something. I need to work on something. I need to build something.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna head out and get more feed before I forget.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys are going to part ways. Fowler, you're going
Yeah.
to head out to. Are you going to head out to where you recommended?
Yeah, I'm going to head past where some of our compatriots are. Get to that place.
Okay.
And make sure we have as few people together as possible.
Nice. I appreciate it. And Cassie heading down to the docks to try and find a place to work.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Corvus.
Yes.
You easily find your way to the Church of Vimor. You head inside of it in your sneaky fashion. And yeah, it's a quaint little place. Very subdued. There's a little bit of deathly architecture, but not in the foreboding sense, just in the hey, this is in more symbolism.
Yeah.
Lots of stone carved reefs. They don't really do the whole skeletal visage of death here. That's not their thing. There's a lot of strange
figure.
reaping. There's a lot of symbolism of reaping, harvesting crops and such. It's kind of like the opposite of a Mayuri temple in a way.
Mm-hmm.
But you do see the priest. He's currently going through some books. Towards the back, near his little altar, there's a little sort of side table set into the back, and he's got some books out and he's going through them.
Shulagan, pardon me.
Oh, greetings.
Greetings. You may have spoken to some of my friends, Thaudia and Cassiopeia, a dwarf and a centaur.
The dwarf and the centaur. Oh, you're. Yes, I spoke to them earlier. You're one of their friends?
Yes, I am. Corvus Adalas.
It's a pleasure to meet you. You can call me Father Stone. Please, come in.
Yes. My companions said there was some paperwork that was needing to be looked over.
Yes. I have started to actually collect a array here. They seem curious about a few things, so I thought I'd get a selection. Anything in particular you want to look at first?
The section that they looked at, there was missing stones.
Yes. I have a couple of pieces here that date back to the era most of that stonework was from. There's one describing in the battle that a few of the soldiers there died in, and just some other general manuscripts. This isn't all of it, of course. It's not exactly the most organized collection, but
maybe a bit of an off-topic question, but besides, of course, the vandalism, was there any other evidence of entry into the crypt that was not warranted?
No, that is a little bit of a puzzling thing. There is only one entrance. It's out back, and it was locked, undisturbed.
Okay. I would want to look at the documents, but can I look down in the crypt at all?
I suppose there's no harm in it. He looks towards the front of the church and sighs. It's not as if we get many coming in here anyway. Yes, let me sort a few things out and put these away.
Thank you.
And he gathers the books back up, and doesn't look like he's going to put them away as in organized, but he's just putting them inside a door he can lock.
Mm-hmm.
And he then kneels down. He actually comes back out and he kneels down in front of his shrine. He says a short prayer, makes a gesture, and then stands back up and glances back at you. Tell me, this was Mr. Adalas?
Adalas, yes.
Yes, you a devout man yourself?
Not quite. No, I can't say that I am.
Oh. He seems to think for a second and goes, I said, do not. You're still welcome here, of course. But,
I will pay utmost respects.
I'm sure you will. This way?
Yes. There's a door going into the crypt.
So basically, he leads you out into the graveyard itself, back into the open air. And he leads you over to what looks to be a small mausoleum entrance. Raised stone doorway. He opens up the door to it, and it leads downstairs into the crypt below.
Was there any lock on that?
Yes, he in fact pulls out a rather large iron key. It's very much an iron wrought gate that stops this from being just walked into willy-nilly. It does look like it was added after the stonework. It does not seem to fit the rest of the architecture of that entrance.
Okay. One moment. It may be a little odd, but can I look at the lock?
Certainly.
He will kneel down and clasp the lock back on to see if it properly engages, and then see how easy it is to. No, he's going to see if there's any markings of someone trying to pick it.
Give me an investigation roll.
Okay. Natural 20, 24.
24. Okay. You look over it, and indeed there are markings of people trying to pick it, but they are really, really old. In fact, you see little scratches that have rusted over. You see fresher ones. Throughout the ages, people have tried to pick this, but nothing particularly recent.
Okay. And okay. So, though not recent activity, he stands back up. Sorry. Thinking that maybe someone got entry into this surreptitiously.
Yes. It's been a bit of a puzzle for the guards. They couldn't find any sign of entry here, and he unlocks the gate again and opens it up. He steps in and lights a lantern that hangs on the wall.
Okay.
And please watch the steps. They're rather, steep and narrow.
Mm-hmm.
And he leads it down into the catacombs.
Once they go into the catacombs, and once there's in the area that the missing stones are located, he is going to look for any sort of markings of the stones moving, like being dragged, and where the drag marks, if there are any, lead.
Okay, another investigation roll.
Okay.
Are you you lighting any light sources yourself? You asking for his?
I do have torches, yes. So I will strike up a torch myself.
Okay. Right. Yep. Investigation rolling.
Okay. That was a natural 1. I am going to use my inspiration.
Okay.
13.
13. You look around. There are scuff marks all around the area. Little fresh scratches on the stone. But it's hard to discern any real direction. They do seem to fall off a bit or blend into old markings.
How old is these halls?
The entirety of them.
Well, the vicinity, I would just surmise.
Let's see. This section in particular was carved out. Oh, he seems to actually have to be thinking about this, as Ali doesn't have her note. I say this part roughly 500 years ago was when the work started.
Okay.
The graves themselves are more recent. There was a lot of expansion for future, you understand?
Mm-hmm.
The oldest regions, though, they date back roughly 800 years.
800 years. How... It seems weird to ask, but are there, to your knowledge, any secret thoroughfares through here?
I'm afraid not. there's always been rumors and tales of such things. It's it's a bit fanciful, isn't it? It's secret passage into the crypts. The kids of the town like to think so, but I'm afraid there's no such thing.
And how did people get in without breaking the lock and leave with the stones?
Well, I'm hoping the gods could answer that. I'm afraid I'm as clueless as you. But like all mysteries that can't be solved, it's quickly forgotten. I haven't heard from the gods in a while.
He will continue to walk the area and try to make his way to some of the walls and or crypts that don't seem too disturbed.
Well,
See if there's
walls
any.
is a bit trickier.
Okay.
There are plenty.
Is it like a
of
big
small
open
areas.
area?
It's sort of. It would be big and open if it wasn't for various statues, graves, mini mausoleums in themselves down here.
Okay.
This isn't catacombs in the sense of winding passageways and such. This is
A hall.
picture the fucking Moria, Mines of Moria Hall,
okay.
only a graveyard. Not quite as tall, obviously, but it spreads wide.
The amount of dead people in the mines of Moria, doesn't that kind of already count as a graveyard?
Yeah, it kind of does.
Oh, do be careful where you wander. It's easy to get lost down here. You lose sense of direction.
Yes. How vast, if it's that easy to get lost in here, does it go under the city?
Oh, yes. It expands beyond the city, in fact.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Where we are located, which way would the coast be?
The coast?
The river.
Oh, the river?
Yeah, the riverbank.
Oh, yes, it is the riverbank. He turns basically sort of back the way you came.
Mm-hmm.
And goes further in that direction.
Well, seeing that you've had some stones missing and there's suspect that these stones may or may not have been used in a construction of a building, I am going to walk that way then. And he'll go in the direction towards the coast in sort of the southwestern direction. So imagine going towards the stonemasons.
He sort of hurries along behind you and says, my child, I can't spend all day down here. Is there a purpose to this?
The Boulderbane, stonemason. He was contracted to build the King's Messy. The King's Messy has a ghost problem. You have missing stones. If they were to use said stones in a construction, they would have to get those stones to their operation.
Yes.
They obviously didn't take those stones out through the stairs. The scuff marks through here are innumerous, but if the stonemasons have a foundation built upon the crypts, then maybe they moved the stones to there and brought the stones up to their establishment.
I'm afraid I'm not familiar with the Skundoki. Where are they?
Dove Keep, block
Keep.
north, a block to the north, and
In the warehouse district?
yes,
Our crypts don't expand that close to the river.
close enough.
We can take a look. Do you near Dove Keep, you say?
Yes.
Right, more this way, please. And
Okay.
he actually starts to direct you himself. It's not long before you think you are about in line with the actual entrance. You're further from it, of course, south-wise, but it's near where you came down. And you only go a little bit further before you actually finally run into a wall. A very heavy, solid stone wall. Like these are actual huge, solid
Solid
pieces of
rock.
Yeah. They're not natural to this place. It's clearly they are actually carved and set in, but they are not just simple brickwork. It's huge.
Heavy foundation.
Mm-hmm. It does not go close to the river for obvious concerns.
Yes, yes.
This isn't well, if you went that way, and he points sort of directly what you suspect, if you went this way to get to the river, you think this is about north he's pointing.
Okay.
Would not be long until you ran into our entrance. This is essentially beneath the street.
Okay. It's kind of hard to picture it without you being on the map, but
I'm afraid so. Yeah.
Yeah. So Corvus is in the intention that there's some sort of way to get stones to the stonemasons at this location. So he's going to try to find if there's a means to do that. There's a loose section of the wall, or
give me an investigation check. How long do you want to spend doing this?
Say about 30 odd minutes.
Okay. You can give me 3 investigation checks.
Okay. Natural 1. 23. 23. 15.
Okay. That's 4.
Oh, sorry. So natural 1, 23, 23.
Okay. All right. You spend some time looking. The priest is starting to become notably agitated. Not expressly cross, but you can see he
shuffles a bit.
His time.
Yeah.
He doesn't want his time taken up like this. He was happy to show people around, but twice in one day and taking them away from stuff, it's becoming a bit much of an ask. And you don't find any sign of secret entrances or whatever.
This is very complexing. Why does it have to be so? Bodies are so simple. Sorry for taking your time on this. I was exploring a hypothesis, I suppose.
I see. Well, shall we leave?
Yes, of course.
This way. And he starts to very hurriedly lead you towards the staircase again. And eventually, he's leading you up back into the graveyard. He's like, well, I do have duties to attend to. If you and your companions wish to take a look at the first manuscripts and such, perhaps you can come back tomorrow.
Okay. Might I
try to come as a group?
Sorry. Might I not to go against any vows that you may or may not have, but I wasn't here. Okay?
Yes, certainly. Now, is there anything else you need?
So, I will see you in the morning, if that's all right.
Certainly, any time. My door's always open. Now, I'll see
He
you
will.
tomorrow.
Corvus will bow his head at him. Say, thank you for your troubles.
Nimor's blessings be with you, child.
And he will take his leave.
Okay. You head out through the church, and you're going back onto the main street.
He stands there in the moment at the main street, ponders it. 9. And he's going to go through the back alleys.
Okay. You want to avoid any attention?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me another stealth roll.
10.
I'm at 10. Where are you heading?
Heading back the way it came in, so along the southeastern
What's
path.
your actual destination?
The long way around to the King's Mercy.
Okay, long way around to the King's Mercy.
Yeah.
Okie
I'm assuming every back alley he can find.
Yes.
Yeah. The most indirect route.
He's a little paranoid and flummoxed, so he's having to think as he's making his way.
Okay. Gifton.
My goodness, hi.
Hi. Okay, so the shop is closed up. Various little racks and bolts of cloth and such are brought out. There's plenty of supplies that are volunteered up for use.
Yep.
Edward seems to be feeling this as a little bit of a collaborative thing, even though he's not really doing much himself. And soon, Melina is brought down into her small clothes and basically ready to start with you.
All right, cool.
There's a little tailor's podium thing that she gets up on.
Yep. Oh, this just got worse.
Yes. And there does seem to be that like awkward silence as everybody is pondering this fact.
Yeah, this
Nobody wants to broach the subject.
Excuse me, Miss Lady?
Yeah.
Could that's a bit high for me?
And she hops on down, and Edward gives you an apologetic look, like he didn't think about this.
Gift is actually blushing pretty hard at this moment, so she just, it was like reflex for everybody else. She's just like, oh. She's like, I don't exactly reach the top shelf.
Do I need to sit down or something?
No, standing's fine. This is gonna be a little weird for you, probably. Don't worry, and giggles are welcome. All right, can I get a boost to Dingus?
Dingus meeps and leans his head down for you to climb on.
Yep, I'll get a boost up, and then I will start working, and I will probably sing in Fae or something like that while I'm doing this, and I'm occasionally like piping back and forth with my mom and
she occasionally sort of points out something that you should do, like if you do this before that step, it'll make this bit a little easier. Melina just seems enchanted by you working. She doesn't mind if you climb over her.
Yeah.
She's just like, she's trying to be good. She's trying to hold still, but her gaze follows you.
Yeah,
and
one of the times I climb up,
to twist her body.
Yeah, one of the times I climb up on her shoulder, I'm gonna make little snowflakes fall.
Oh my god! Okay.
Because I can do that with thaumaturgy.
Yeah,
so.
she is so delighted.
It's so high up. Are we in the
mountains? She does giggle a bit, despite her trying to maintain ladylike composure.
Yeah.
And you can see Callan is just sitting off in the corner talking with Edward, and it's acting like this is his main focus. But you can see the glances, He's paying rather good attention, despite holding conversation.
Yeah. I'm trying to keep her involved so she doesn't get bored as a little child. And I'll ask her, have you been in the woods? Have you heard any of the birds? And I'll occasionally make a bird sound and try and engage her.
And she eventually, that sort of trying to maintain that posh demeanor, it starts to break down, and
Yeah.
she starts to talk about all the times her father's taken her out into the woods. They've gone on a picnic with her mother, or their little summer retreat off into a different location where there were kinds of plants she'd never seen before, and how she saw like these animals, and
man.
she didn't like the part where father went out hunting, but then she got to see like these birds that were so pretty and shiny, and like their wings glittered in the sunlight, and
this is actually calming for Gifton because it's more personable. So she's trying to like break down barrier a little bit and just kind of talk about things that she knows.
And then she starts to tell you about all the stories she likes. You learn that little comparison she made with Argy and Carrot was basically a little kid's book about a prince and a princess who liked each other very much. And went to a grand ball together.
Fancy.
Yep, and she starts to tell you about all the stories about fairy folk she likes.
Oh.
Yeah.
I will probably regale her with some fairy folk tales as well.
Interesting. Most of these teams just made up fanciful stuff. Tame things for children who will never encounter fairy folk and thus do not need to be wary of them is what you get from it. But there is the occasional name or the occasional little scenario that actually sounds like something real you've heard in one of your grandmother's tales. Yeah. There's a tiny bit of overlap.
Okay.
So you suspect not all of these stories are based on truth, just made up. Some have a little bit of truth to them. Yeah.
And I'll try to make it fun, and kind of every once in a while, slip in, conversation or talking to Mr. Lassenal and Lassenor, and talking to my mom, asking what they think, and trying to check in to make sure that it's okay. What I'm doing is okay with the father since he's making the purchase.
Yeah, and there doesn't seem to be anything he
cares.
He's clearly not worried about the expense.
Okay.
If you recommend a fabric, he doesn't even ask. He goes, if you think that's suited to her.
Yeah, I'm putting secret pockets in this.
Okay, cool. Are you indicating this to her?
Yes, I'm telling her there's going to be secret pockets.
Okay.
Every girl needs secret pockets.
A wide grin on her face, like she's giddy about this.
Yes.
Okay, with your mother's help.
Yep.
And the entire setting, I would like you to give me a tailing roll with advantage.
I have advantage normally, so I'll just.
Okay. We'll give you some. Let's see. I'll take that into account. DC.
I got a 25, so that's masterwork.
Okay.
Actually, it's better than masterwork.
I think that's a step up of masterwork.
Yeah, it's the Wowie Zowie zone.
Yes, the Wowie Zowie zone that I didn't actually name. Okay.
Yes, it hits into Wowie Zowie zone, so it is. It is probably my finest work.
Yeah, this is the finest thing you have actually ever crafted.
I'm actually beaming with pride as I'm working on this.
Or will craft. This is actually taking this little period to do. In fact, you'd probably not going to actually finish this in one day. This is going to be all the next time, but that is going to be your role for basically the foundation of this work.
Okay.
And I mean, Edward, watching work, is actually clearly impressed already, and Talon looks very approving of what you're doing. You are managing to strike that lovely balance between sort of that childish, girlish look, but also it's got that refinement to it. It would be presentable.
It's presentable enough that it could be passed for a lady, but it also has a little bit of whimsy and joy to it, right?
Yeah. It's a child playing at a lady, and that's fine. Right. I'm sorry, Sam. There isn't too much I can do.
Yep, I know. That's fine. That's
a long process.
Go on to everybody else because they have a lot going on.
But I was going to say, is there any subject or such you'd like to bring up? Because they make small talk. It's polite. It's not intruding. It's not probing.
Oh.
But as this process goes on, even Callan seems a bit more relaxed. Like,
what is their last names?
Capet.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's that sort of thing of he was Lassenor recommended you, and so he was fine to come and do this. But there was that little hint of there's the Fae around my daughter.
Yeah.
Which for any adult is going to be a little concerning.
Yeah.
But as you will work and talk, he seems to relax a bit, and his gaze on you is less probing, less wary, and more just enjoying watching you work.
I'll basically ask them if there's anything they recommend I check out while I'm in town, because I don't know how long I'll be here. I'll be probably coming back here often though, so I'll kind of go. I signed up to be an adventurer with my friends.
An adventurer? You're an adventuring fairy?
I know. I'm gonna like show her my badge. It's like the big thing.
It's the bling.
And she stares at it and wonders, like, oh, do you do magic?
I don't do very much, but I do a little bit. I can heal people when they're hurt and stuff.
Adventuring is a dangerous business.
Yeah, I just want to get out there and see stuff. I kind of, got used to living in the walls, and I'd like to just go outside a bit more.
So, you're not thinking of, sitting and doing this?
I want to do this as much as I can, but I don't think I could. I don't think I could buy a shop of my own, and I figure maybe if Mr. Lassenwell doesn't mind, I'd like to come and work through him when I'm in town.
Oh, I'd be delighted to have you, dear.
And then I don't know what my mom's plans are.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
She says. Kellen nods and goes, well, I mean, it's a shame to not have someone with your clear talent here constantly, but I suppose that adds a rarity in itself. What you say?
Yeah, we're a bunch of folks from Tarnstead. We escaped together, and we stood by each other to get this far, and we want to stay together because it was some hard times, and I think she kind of makes a face. My friend Archie was in the first attack like 70 years ago when she lost her parents, and she just kind of, I don't want her to just kind of disappear into a bottle with all the sadness in her heart.
Oh, the fine lady that was here.
Yeah, she lost her family about 70 years ago, and she doesn't really know much about them because she kind of just grew up on her own in Tarnstead. So.
Well, it's a delight to see that you're looking out for somebody like that.
Well, that's what we do, because she's gonna go at that point. She'll ramble on about how the brownies, took things as a offering and would do nice things in Tarnstead, and that's the order of what they were used to, and that was their interaction. So she's like, this is completely different and new for them.
Okay, Melina listens in wonder, of course. This is she's probably heard this kind of thing before, but she's hearing it directly from a fairy. So it adds a new sense of wonder to it.
Yeah.
And Cullen listens politely, and you can tell he's not meaning to be offensive, but he does make the sort of little joke of, well, hopefully you'll get paid in more than bread and milk. Yeah. It might come off a little wrong, but he doesn't mean it.
And I go, well, I mean, we didn't. Hauling coins was a bit harder without help, so it worked fine. But you know how it is. Hard work makes for good things.
Well, if you intend to be a adventurer, perhaps, my family often hires out services. I could look into that for you as well if you want.
Yeah, that'd be great. I think they might be interested in that. And like I said, when I'm in town, I'm probably going to be here tailoring as long as there's a space and a table. Speaking of, Alassador, there is one little thing I might want to try to work on. I got the hide of a very exotic creature while I was out, and I'd love to make a cloak out of it. Maybe I can rent one of your tables at some point, so I can work on it.
Oh, you need not rent. You'd be welcome to work here. The hide of a creature, you say, no? And Callan actually seems to work up at this. he leans forward with clear interest, like not just
and I'm going to describe it in a way that I kind of more describing it for the adults, but I'm trying to like not make it sound too scary for the kid, and I describe it as this massive cat with these long tendril whip-like things that came out of its back that had like its body rippled through the air, and that kind of stuff.
A displacer beast, Kellen says. Actually, seem to know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we fought one of those on the we rescued some children in the woods. And,
a couple.
2 of them.
Yeah, we fought 2 of them, and we got a bunch of their. We managed to harvest a lot of it, but I was thinking it'd make a fine cloak. It's just such amazing material, but I've never seen the like, and I just haven't had a chance to work on it yet. But we fought them while we were saving some children, and.
Captain actually leans back in his chair, and he's sort of rubbing his chin as if he's rethinking this whole adventure thing. As in, like, he was offering, hey, you could escort this caravan, but now maybe a bit more adventure than he realized.
Yeah. And she's going to kind of look over at her mom, realizing she probably shouldn't tell certain stories around her mom.
Yeah, your mother is watching you with like this, you did what? And Care is just cringing.
I'm a lot better with when I have my bow, though, but I don't think they let me have my bow in town. I'm too dangerous, I whisper to the girl.
She nods with like, yeah, she totally believes that.
Yeah.
I will see about what kind of work we can offer you. It'll take me a little time, of course. I've got to talk to people, but tailor and adventurer. That's.
Actually, our whole group's have a bunch of displaced craft people. It's kind of funny. We have a centaur who she makes tables and like the finest chairs. She's a carpenter.
Oh. Well, you know how my family got its status?
How'd they start?
Crafters and traders.
I mean, there's something nice about making something. It makes you feel fulfilled.
Yes,
I missed it.
And well, Father's always instilled a good work ethic in us, as his father did. And yes, well, I can fully understand the drive to make something with your own hands. Yep. He feels quiet. Just
yeah, I'll go back.
Settles back into working you.
I'll get back to just telling stories to the little girl and trying to listen to her whimsy, and doing occasionally cute little magic shit for her, because it's probably the one person I can get away with doing it, and it's like, haha, that's amazing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he seems to appreciate Kalan seems to appreciate the showmanship, but the way he watched you do your form attention and such, you think he knows what those tricks are.
Yeah. Yeah. He probably isn't.
He wasn't
too
wowed.
Yeah, he wasn't wowed. So.
But
yeah.
Well, Melina is fucking enchanted, and he seems to be more pleased with that than anything else. So.
Yeah, no, I'm just basically trying to do little stuff to make her happy and make it special. So it's not just her standing around getting tailored. Yeah.
And you do work for a few hours. Unfortunately, you can't work as long on her as you might be able to with an adult, as she does start to get fidgety, and it does start to impede your work a bit. And before long, Callan notices this himself, and he pulls out. Well, I don't think you've actually ever seen one of these before. Pulls out looks to be sort of flattish but rounded metal disc, which then pops open, and he looks into it.
Is that a crystal ball?
Oh, no, it's a timepiece. He comes over.
It's a piece of time?
No, it tracks the time.
How do we store time in a watch? Can I get back the hour?
And he actually leans it down, showing you. You see a hand sort of moving along at a steady little pace, and you can hear a tick.
Oh, what a fantastic object! I didn't even know they made these.
That's the bomb!
They're rather recent inventions, and well, they are grand. Not having to try and guess what the hour is.
Oh, I bet you. It's probably quite amazing to do. Do they sell them here in town?
Oh no, I'm afraid this was ordered from far off.
Oh, well, it's a grand piece indeed. Well, sorry to interrupt you while you were checking out your thing.
Oh no, it's no problem at all. Always happy to show off.
Thank you for letting me show off my timepiece.
Yeah.
My Rolex, right?
Yeah. And well, we should get along.
Oh yeah, I think I've got enough here to start working on it. I can have this done in however many days the game master decides that I can.
I was, because we use the fanciful accelerated D&D crafting time, because nobody wants reality in this.
Yeah.
But it is a particular piece of work. You would, if you work today, work tomorrow, you could probably get it done by tomorrow's end.
I should have it done by tomorrow's end if I come back here first thing in the morning. I'll work on it for a little bit more today.
My shop is yours to use, whatever, please.
Yes. That's quite good.
Certainly. Take your time. Of course, we don't want to rush you. I'm sure.
Oh, I'm so excited to work on this. This is such a lovely piece. It's already looking great.
Oh, I can't wait. Thank you, Miss Ferry Gifton.
It was really nice to meet you. I hope I get to see more of you while I'm in town.
She nods very enthusiastically, and she looks towards her father and goes, "We can come see her more, right? Yeah." And he smiles and nods his head as if yes.
I'd be honored to see the little lady, even if it's not business.
Oh, tell me what. Perhaps when the dress is finished, you can come present it at the house.
Oh, it's might be a bit much for me to carry.
Of course, your companions would be welcome.
Oh, okay, thank you. I would hate to get it muddy on the way.
Yeah, you know the extent of the invitation extends to you as well, Lasanor, and Lasanor nods.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, we'll arrange that. Well, when we know when it's going to be done.
Yep. Thank you.
It was a pleasure to meet you. And he leans down, and it's ingrained in him to do the polite thing and reach out for a hand and give the kiss, but like,
yeah,
he just sort of reaches his hand out and sort of mimics what his daughter did with his little pinky finger.
Yep, and I will give it a shake. A pleasure, sir. And I'll give a curtsy that's really awkward, like somebody trying to do it from seeing other people do it.
Yeah. He appreciates the effort.
Yeah.
And then he starts to help his daughter get back into her actual dress.
Yep.
Which takes a little bit, you know. But it also gives you time to actually sort of start to put away the various cuttings and such you've done properly.
Yeah, get away the cuttings and start putting everything away.
Before long, they start to head out, and Melina waves at you enthusiastically as she does.
Better. Bye! Hope to see you again soon!
I'll see you soon! And then they're gone.
Okay.
Alright. And that will be late for you.
Yep, so
we're going to
catch
bounce a little bit back in time.
Yep.
Right. Food crew.
Nom.
Argy, Carrick, and Lynn. You make your way to the meaty soup bone. Yeah, at this time it would be busy. And you actually, it takes you a little bit to find a free spot. Because you want a table to eat at, yes?
Probably a good idea.
Yes.
Yeah. And you have to be a little bit aggressive in acquiring it. Like, you have to barge through and make sure you're ahead of others. But you're able to. And you get yourself seated. And not her. You can see the tiefling barmaid, essentially, not barmaid, server. She's off handing off people across the restaurant. But a nice human lass comes on over, and She gives you a nice smile, Carrick, and goes, well, what can I get you folks?
Lunch?
Lunch? She lists off food because Ali. Yep, no.
Argy chooses a meal.
Yep, Argy chooses a meal, and it's the usual fare of the specialised in meat, so lovely cooked meats. Carrick, I'm sure you choose something very tasty yourself.
Carrick's gonna choose whatever the cook decides is the best today.
Yep, and Lynn actually mimics your order.
I am probably gonna make Ali unhappy right now, and when the servant girl comes, you can ask her what her name is.
Okay, her name is going to be.
Is it the same one from last time?
No,
it's
it's
not.
not the tiefling.
Okay.
No. It's Carolyn, and she doesn't actually offer up her second name. She just introduces herself as Carolyn.
Okay.
It's a permit. That's really all.
Everybody's name must be given.
And she goes off to get you food and drink. And you're left alone with Lynn and Argy.
Oh no. I'm going to be questioned so much.
Now, finally, well, mostly alone, but you're pleased with your company, she says to Argy.
Argy just gives a smile and a wave.
So, Carrick,
yes.
Do you have plans? Do you?
I'm gonna. Do they just hand us the coin, or is it on a? I can't think of the word. String
Necklace.
basically.
No, they just literally just gave you a little mark.
Okay. I'm gonna reach
there
into.
There is a hole at the top that you could string it yourself.
Okay. I'm gonna actually reach into my into my pocket and pull out the mark and go. The group of us signed up to be adventurers for now.
Adventurers. It's dangerous business.
It's dangerous business going out your
we're pretty much packed in here, right?
Yep.
Okay, so saying, but I'm a dragon. It's a bad plan, as far as I would know.
You can try and be sneaky about it if you want.
I mean, I could technically chalk it draconic, but that should be possibly more looks. Because I still like to think it's just rar rar gur 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 rar.
If you're talking draconic, and most common folk probably aren't going to think it any more unusual than any other language they don't understand is.
I'm going to go and speak in draconic and not make it so or you can understand a word I'm saying, because one of the few languages I can speak that she doesn't. It is, but I'm part dragon, so.
Even we die. Yeah.
Everybody does sometime.
I
want to help others, like since we couldn't help start Tarnstead.
I understand. You watch out for yourself. You, as she says, switching back to common, watch out for my boy, yes?
Mm-hmm.
I was halfway to...
Argy will just calmly give a nod. I don't know what the heck else said, but yeah.
Oh, he's telling me about this silly adventure business. Oh. Well, I suppose this makes this a little more important. I just intend this to be general safety, but far more important now. And she's actually going to push into a bag she's got. Just a little sort of side satchel thing. Hopefully not part of her.
At this point, right now, he's going to go, God, please no more coins like that. In his brain, oh God, no more coins. He's already concerned with carrying as many as he has.
And she pulls out what looks to be a sort of, I think maybe it's made of copper, but it is a sort of a little band. It looks like it's styled like a ring, but clearly far too big.
Like wrist sized, or like in between the two?
This could like comfortably fit around your forearm. Not forearm, upper arm, I should say.
Okay, so it's is it gorget? I can't think of the word. I'm thinking the neck piece that's like metal.
I think it's basically an armband at this point.
I know what it actually is, but yeah,
bangle. Yeah,
yeah, bangle.
A bit unusual for a Bengal. Looks wide for a Bengal, you know. And she goes, your great grandfather, he gave me this. And, well, I don't. She trails off and then puts it down on the table and sort of pushes it a little towards you. I'd like you to have it.
You sure you don't want to remember him?
I remember him very well.
I'm gonna reach out and pick it up and kind of look over it.
As you pick it up, it actually shrinks. And there's a long moment of something magical is actually happening here in the middle of a fucking crowded bar.
I'm gonna do this. That is not the thing I want. That is a document.
Sleight of hand?
That's what I was going to do, but I'm sitting on the document that I had opened, and I'm like, that hitting those buttons won't do anything.
No, I'm just saying you might want to say it because Ellie can't see what you roll.
Yeah, I know. Well, no, I was trying to get my thing up before I say anything, so I'm going to roll sleight of hand.
Oh my god.
21.
21, okay. You very deftly, you don't have to tuck it away even, you just move it so that this isn't quite visibly in the middle of the table.
Yeah.
And soon you find yourself holding, this looks like it'd be suited for one of your fingers. It's a ring. And suddenly its proportions make a bit more sense than as a bangle.
Okay. Now, out of character, because I actually don't remember, and someone else might. Was I around with the whole dingus saddle thing? Like when it happened?
Yeah, you were in the room.
Yeah, you were literally in the room when we figured that out.
Okay. I was just trying to make, because I couldn't remember for sure. Okay, so I'm not completely surprised that this can happen, because I've seen it before.
Yeah, no, it was explicitly you, me, and Sam.
Okay. I'm going to still kind of look it over. You said it's what was on it again? It says one of those days. What did you say is on? What is it? Obviously, it's a ring, but what is it? Got anything
band.
marks or anything?
Yeah, it's made of copper, and looking at it, it looks like it has the sort of engraving of very graceful, a sort of dragon curled around it. It's not actually molded or formed into the form of a dragon. It's just a simple engraving in it.
Okay.
Embossed.
And there is a single shit. Can someone remind me what color her eyes are again? Very typical copper dragon eyes.
Green.
Is that copper dragon?
Copper oxidizes to green, so
yeah.
No, don't listen to him. But
the fortunate thing is
it on your description for the item? For the what? For your website? No. Okay.
No. And the unfortunate part is the picture of her is not on here currently.
Yeah.
No. Just say.
Well, I believe it is green. I think it is green. And it's small. It's not ostentatious or anything, but there is a little green gem set in as a eye.
Aww.
Possibly
will be redacted to a different color depending on notes.
Yes.
Yep.
She smiles and goes, "You gave it to me, and I don't know, maybe there will be a girl that you want to give it to someday." But
I'm gonna
for now keep it with you, and It has some minor enchantments on it, and they should help you.
I'm gonna slip it carefully on my finger.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you so
You
much.
now have your vestige. I hope you still have the things.
Yes, I do have the. I have the document for it. So, is it active? That's first thing. Okay.
The way we're doing these is we activate them straight away. They're still attuned, but they are active.
Okay. Plus side, I have no attuned items so far, so that part doesn't matter.
I think the only one that had any attuned items.
But probably Dingus. Technically,
the player characters.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to.
Nice of you.
Thank you. Which character sheet? Which folder did I save that?
And then she turns to you, Archie, and gives you a sort of joking little smile because I'm sorry, I didn't bring anything for you.
Archie's apparently dumbstruck with upset.
I couldn't fully hear what Ali said, so I was trying to parse it.
She said she didn't bring anything for you, unfortunately.
Susan goes, I'll be honest, I wasn't really expecting it.
Oh, she looks a little like actually handling that ring has upset herself a bit. She's trying not to show it, but she's not particularly good at not showing it. But she's trying to quickly compose herself. Like, so the food here's good, yes?
Yes. RG actually found it the first day we were here.
Oh, marvelous. I look forward to it.
Before we got hauled off to the keep.
I mean, I'd love to listen to you. Tell me about everything all day. But I suppose I should. Is there anything you want to know, my dear?
Is there anything I should watch out for? Actually, he's gonna wait a second. Yeah, he's gonna start speaking Draconic again, just because he knows Argy can understand Elven and Giant, and he knows his grandmother can, but he's not sure if other people can understand Giant around. Do you know anything about ghosts?
Ghosts? Oh, a little bit.
We may have.
Quite the question I was expecting.
We may. Well, see, you're the only person I know knows anything about magic, really, and we may have had a run-in with ghosts, with a ghost, including my clothes being nailed to the ceiling. I was unhappy. But we're trying to figure out if it is a ghost, why it was there, if it is, or what else it might be. Obviously, I don't want everybody to know, hence makes the motion at his mouth.
One moment, dear. And Augie, she actually reaches out to you and places a hand on your without really asking, just touches your forehead. And you can see her mumble something. And suddenly,
works never at it.
Well, Carrick's words go from that sort of harsh draconic language and start to sound like common again to you. Yeah,
I just kind of go like, that is weird as hell.
What's this? You should be able to understand our conversation.
I'm guessing she just casts languages on me?
Yeah, comprehend languages.
Yeah.
I was just explaining to her and asking her about ghosts.
It's really weird I can understand that, but go on.
I'm afraid ghosts aren't something I've actually personally dealt with, but I know a bit. If you're being... I mean, the easiest way to avoid them is to leave the area.
We're kind of we're given room and board at the place where it is by the garrison here, and we kind of wanted to help the guy because there are rumors around and a couple of the reasons why people don't seem to want to go to his tavern. Wait, is the tavern an inn, technically? Out of character?
It's an inn.
Okay.
They're kind of blur though, so.
Yeah, it's...
Most that have one tend to have the other.
Except for the meaty soup bone.
Mm-hmm.
No, the Moody Soup Bone is just a restaurant officially.
Yeah.
Actually, I think officially Ali called it a gastropub.
It's what its comparison is, yeah. Anyway,
First.
well, I'd just like you to keep yourself safe from ghosts, so most things that represent purity, stop them. Salt is a little expensive. Still, you do a circle of salt or line your doorways with it, you have trouble getting in if they're weak enough. Iron, that'll disrupt them. Doesn't hurt them so much, but it will disturb them.
Iron might
Silver?
cause...
Do you have silver? I wish I could put some
coins.
silver with me.
The other idea that Gifton has that it might be magic. Someone using spells.
Not how. You'd need to have the ability to detect magic. Have you figured that out yet? I don't know how adept you are there.
I don't think so, but
light your bed on fire, I'm afraid.
Technically, it wasn't mine. Looks scant eyes over at Argy as he says.
Well, I'm sure you'll get no more of those little accidents, yes?
Yes. I think Gifton can detect magic because she seemed to be able to do that.
Well, if you do that and try to look around for a spellcaster, I suppose that would reveal that mystery.
You said you had some questions for me?
Oh,
You're with Gifton?
It's silly things. I want to know how you feel and what you want to do and what makes you happy and just want to know about you.
That sounds like a shift between things time.
Yep. If you want to actually spend time talking to her about that sort of thing.
Unless Ergy's going to stop me.
It's like Argy can interrupt if you want. If you have actually any questions yourself, Argy, she's focused on Carrick, but she's not trying to ignore you. She's just a little.
Argy's just kind of taking it's his grandma's, so not really my room to interrupt.
It's the
if you want to
it's his family, and she doesn't know shit.
Pull out a pen and paper, write it all down.
Before long, I believe Faldir and Cassie were heading this way, weren't they?
They were.
What did
we
do?
split up.
Yeah.
Faldir. Faldir was heading up North Gates, that's right.
He's
give me a perception roll, Argy. Just in case you manage to spot him walking by windows.
He's short.
So it would be tricky.
She's also short.
Yeah, I did.
She has natural 20, 25.
25? Okay. Yeah, you can actually see Faldir heading by outside.
It's not like I was rolling stealth or anything.
But at this point, you're actually well into your meal, so basically wrapping up.
Or you just kind of watch as the head go by, notes mentally, and go back to eating food and listen to the conversation.
Yep.
And I'll say this is more interesting to her.
Well played. I prefer to stay here.
I see you, but I choose to ignore you.
I can go see that dwarf anytime. There's a dragon at this table.
That's the fucking point.
There's a dragon who's embarrassing Carrick at this table.
Yes.
I like to think it's more of
fucking worth its weight in gold.
The dwarf is going someplace right now and hasn't told us a word. Probably best not to interrupt.
Also, Carrick's opening up about his innermost feelings and likes and stuff like that. This is fodder for RG.
Yep, write it all down.
What does happen though? RG, towards the end of the meal, I think you've eaten a little bit faster than they have because they're sort of chatting while they're eating, so they've still got semi-full plates. But the tiefling that served you guys when you previously came in, she does actually catch sight of you, and she gives you a little wave from across the bar.
I'm not the only one that gets flirted with randomly.
I mean, when RG's looking at this, of course.
Yeah.
She gives a very nice little wave back.
And she grins a bit, and she looks about and goes and talks to the person that was serving you. And there's a bit of gesturing, a bit of back and forth between them. And then the tiefling actually comes over to the table. Like, oh, can I get you folks any more drinks?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
You're looking very lovely today.
Well, that helps when you clean up after 70 years of drinking.
You clean up lovely. What would you like? On the house. She says rather specifically to you.
Oh my.
RG just thinks for me and goes, light?
What's that?
Like that? Something light?
Oh, all right. I'll get that for you now, darling. And
Thank you.
she quickly skips off towards the bar, and so you basically spend the rest of your time being very vaguely flirted with by this tiefling. She seems to have arranged to take over serving your table, and yeah, Carrot, you get to make small talk. Right, Valdir.
Aye.
Hi. Okay, you're making your way through town. It's lovely and bustling in the middle of the day again. Various people out. Various people you get hollering to come to their stalls, look at the wares, eat their food. But you're able to make your way north. Basically, the little general store that seems to supply. I say general store, but it's a bit more focused on stablery. You know.
Excellent.
It's outside the gates. It's going to be one of the buildings along the road. I don't have my map.
Again, that's all right.
Yeah. Yeah, you're able to make your way there. Oh, God. 1 second. Open up 5e tools. Yeah. And you're able to head in. There's immediately what hits you is there's that sort of smell of feed grain straightened up leather, but that's no surprise when you see a few bits of saddles, bridles, that sort of shit scattered about, hanging off the hooks. And yeah, it seems to be very much focused on horses and travel and that kind of shit. This isn't a supply for the town, this is a supply for people passing through and traveling off.
Yeah. As far as I know, we've pretty much got everything we need in terms of those types of items right now. So I'm mostly just going to stick as a man with purpose. Go looking for food.
The bell of the door rings as you come in. That's a very good indicator of someone entering. The place you should have that. So unfortunately, your attempt to sneak in and steal the food is abated. But someone does come in from the back. We'll make this a... Actually, we'll go a little off the tracks with this. It's a gnome. There is a gnome that comes out. He has a ring of silver hair that starts. Basically, he's got a bald cap on.
Patrick Troop Stewart and Gnome Farm. Got it.
Yeah, runs. Oh no, much longer hair. Runs down to his shoulders.
Oh.
And he looks aged but healthy. Like he's got a springy step, and he doesn't bother going behind the counter. He comes out in front of it. He goes, "Oh, hello there. How can I help you, fine folk?" No, just one of you. And he squints.
Gonna give a slight wave.
And one of his eyes tracks your hand, and then the other tracks it. Bit delayed.
Ah.
So is his hair like Riffraff from Rocky Horror?
Yes. Very much like Riffraff.
No. So, beware magenta. Got it.
Hell yeah. What are you looking for? Can I help you?
I need more feed for my horse.
Oh, feed for your horse. Okay, feed. Any particular kind of feed you're looking for?
Well, we've been traveling a fair amount. It's been rough. Maybe something a little easier for them.
Easier to digest?
Yes.
Oh, right. He doesn't know anything about feed, so we're going to make that up. Okay, okay.
I don't know anything either.
I'm assuming you're just going to get some grains and oats and call it good, and we're all going to pretend that none of us know enough about horses. Because,
Yes.
I would say hay and grains and oats, so yeah.
You want the cheap stuff or the good stuff?
I did give you a gold piece to get stuff today, so you can probably get away with that.
I unfortunately only have so much money on me, so just pull out a gold piece.
Oh, God. Oh, you can get plenty of good stuff with that.
Oh, alright then.
Alright, let Annie pull out her calculator. Let's see. I can do ya. 10 days worth of a good feed for that.
That would be appreciated.
Oh my God, you're not haggling. Okay.
Yeah. I considered it, but no, I'm actually going to easily be taken by that.
All right. Okay. So, all right. You got something to roll this away in?
Could always say for that price, I was hoping for possibly free delivery.
I was hoping I might either be able to get it delivered or be able to come back for it.
There's another sort of squinting at you. Yes. Yeah. You charge for delivery normally, but yeah, you're welcome to come back and get it. I can put it aside for you.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Okay. Pay it now, of course. I've got to put it aside. No one else can buy it.
All right, I'll be back soon.
All right. I look forward to seeing you again. What's your name?
Theldir.
Valdir. Okay. All right. I'll get that all ready for you. Okay. See you soon. Yes.
Sure. Thank you.
No, thank you. And he's going to take the gold piece, and he does the thing you see somewhat often with people biting to check see if it's real. He bites it rather hard though, and there's a little bit of a crunch. And he grimaces, and he pulls out a tooth and starts to head off into the back again.
Damn, I was hoping it was a chocolate coin.
I think he may have been hoping that as well. Ironically, I think that would actually make it worth more than a gold piece then.
Well,
at this time period, probably.
Chocolate is worth actually quite a bit.
Yeah. And he basically leaves you alone in front of his store.
I'm gonna briefly wander the store, look at the wonders, see a few things that are interesting, and then head back toward the King's Mercy.
Okie dokie. Right, you leave, having made your purchase. Cassiopeia, you head down towards the docks to find a carpentry place.
Yes, I'm
Yes.
looking at the northern side, kind
Okay.
of.
Northern side, if I recall correctly, I don't think there's going to be too much there. that
There's the
favours
House
you.
of Capet on the northern
Capet.
side.
That's House of Capet.
Capet.
Yes, I'm talking in the sense of crafting spaces, though. I think there's a little bit of warehouse district to the north of the market district, right?
Yes.
There is a little bit. There's a bunch to the south, and we know that the very south had the fish market. So.
Yes. What we're going to do is we're just going to walk along the docks a bit. You find a spot because I can't really pinpoint.
Yep.
Yeah, you can actually find you're walking. You see a few different places that seem to do woodworking of some sort of variety or another. And one actually seems a little bit clear right now. There's no major construction going on that front. There's some stacked timbers, but doesn't seem to be any work going on. But you do see a gentleman in his little shop. Seems to be working on but what's the book with the money stuff?
Register. Ledger.
Yes, ledger. That's it. Thank you. Seems to be working on ledger.
I'm going to trot up. Just happy. It's a happy day.
Doesn't see you approaching it first, but then he does hear that crop, and glances up, and looks a little surprised to see a centaur. Probably
Sees horse, continues to look up. Person. What?
Afternoon, miss.
Hi. I was curious. Do you have any stall space for rent?
Also, give me a second. I'm going to reconnect to Discord because my connection is actually going horrible. I don't know if it's the phone or not.
Okay. Loud.
Cassiopeia is so sad.
Welcome back.
If it's still bad, Allie, let me know. I think I can change the server settings.
It seems to be okay now. Okay. Go ahead, Torbs.
Cassiopeia does the dainty little wave. Hi. I was curious. Do you have any stall space for rent?
I mean, not typically, but I could arrange that.
I need an area big enough for wagon construction.
He looks out front of his shop, and there's plenty of space there. He goes, yeah, I suppose we could arrange that. We're gonna have to do this a little informally. I can charge you for space. I'm afraid though, if something comes up work-wise, I'd probably have to ask you to move. But if we do it by the day,
yeah. I just need to be able to finish up my work, and unfortunately, I don't have a shop I can work at anymore. And people kind of get testy if I work on what I'm doing in town, in normal areas.
I'm sure they do. All right. Yeah. What's your name, miss?
I'm Cassiopeia Steelshod.
Nice to meet you, Cassiopeia Steelshod. I'm Oral. Second name. Fucking write down Oral. That's my random name generator. Yep.
Oral.
Orville.
Oral.
Carl.
Would you be willing to say? Space. He looks like he's actually trying to think about this because it's not something he generally offers. 8 silver pieces a day.
Yeah, that. Would you permit? Would for that price? Would you permit me to access to some tools if I find I don't have the equipment I need?
If you check with me before you do, yeah, sure.
Oh yeah, it's your shop. It's your tools. Just the ability to access some of the heavier items that I wasn't able to save.
Are you guild registered?
Yes, I am.
Do you mind if I see you?
She's actually before the second he said that, and when he's starting to ask, she's already pulling her pack out and pulling out her guild papers.
And he'll take them and look them over and nod a little more confidently. So, yeah, okay, yeah, sure, you'll be able to use the heavier stuff. Here you go. You want to do this today or?
Well, my next question is would I be able to leave it here, or would I need to take it back to where I am staying on a daily basis?
I haven't got. You can leave it here, but I don't want to take responsibility for your stuff. I don't really have space to lock it up, so.
No, that's perfectly fine. The wheelbase work is pretty much done at this point. I just need area to build.
I will say it should be safe here. It's not exactly most. It was. What was it? A cart?
It's a cart conversion.
Yeah, it should be fine here. I just can't guarantee it, you know.
Mm-hmm. Though, you mentioned it. If you to enable myself to be able to use the space, and you mentioned that if you have a big order come in, would you allow me to assist you with your order so I might be able to start work again faster?
Oh. I can't put my usual boys out of work for your
No.
sake.
I understand.
If I need extra hand, maybe I could see about hiring you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll deal with this as it comes up.
Hopefully it does, but not in a way that will hinder either of us.
Yeah, hopefully. Knock on wood. And he very easily knocks on wood because it's fuckloads of it.
She smiles. Well, you have plenty of that.
Yes. Yeah, it's just getting rid of it. That's the issue right now. Anyway.
Is there a problem?
Oh, just not much in the way of work coming in right now.
I would be surprised. This is a fairly large town. Was there a market shift?
Yeah, just a bit of a glut of carpenters right now.
Oh, I could understand that.
Yes, competition, never fun. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, competition also makes us all better.
Oh, I'm afraid I'm not really looking to be better at my craft. I'm just looking to make some money.
Well, she looks up at the sky. It's probably past noon at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I will return tomorrow and begin my work. She pulls out 2 gold pieces. I'll prepay for 3 days right now.
Sure, I'll give you your money back if you can't have those days, but there shouldn't be anything coming.
Well, I'm just putting down a deposit now. If I can't use the space, I would still like to leave the funds on book for when you open up again.
Oh certainly. I'll see you tomorrow then.
I thank you, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
You too, miss.
And she happily trots off.
Okay. All right. Where are you heading?
Well, I figured since I was on the northern side, there's a inn nearby, but I figure you don't have your paperwork,
I don't.
so I'm not going to go there. But there was a church, there is a temple nearby, which is the Church of Orlon, and I just want to cruise by it to take a look.
Okay. Yeah, you can go by the Church of Orlon. Right. Orlon is my god of war. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So you go by this church. I believe, is this the one that's down there by the docks?
Yes. Near House Kepe.
Okay. Right. The Church of Orlon. Perhaps not surprising with your knowledge of the god and such, the general knowledge most people have. This church looks a little bit more like a mini fortress than it does a church. And it has, but instead of, shit, what do you call them? The tower top things where people stand.
God, parapets?
No, parapets. That's it. They look like they stole like mini parapets on each corner of the church, but at the top of each is a large flame. It seems to be burning away. Instead of a fucking typical church door, it looks more like it's stole like a
portcullis.
A fortress's moat fucking and portcullis shit. Yeah. It does look like a mini castle. And all along the stonework are carvings of battle. Mighty figures in armor bringing great swords down on foul beasts. Demons being run down by people on steeds. There is a lot of ornate stonework on this. It's kind of over the top.
Is it ostentatious or gaudy?
It's a matter of opinion. From Ali's own personal taste, I would call it gaudy.
Okay.
It's approaching Warhammer levels of ridiculousness.
Okay. So it's all stonework that I can see. I can't see any woodwork.
The door, there is a wooden door behind this metal work portcullis style thing.
Okay. I'm not going in there because I avoid war like the plague.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to marvel at the building itself. And then I'm going to happily trot back around and follow the northern wall. Maybe I'll run into Thaldir as I cross paths with one other church that will be on the path, which is the Church of Hevos.
Okay. Right. You're going that way. Corvus, so
yes.
What are you up to, my friend?
Corvus would be headed towards the King's Mercy.
Mm-hmm. That's right. You're taking your back alleys and such, aren't you?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. King's Mercy. All right. I'm afraid I can't quite come back to you yet.
Okay.
Right. I think actually what we're going to do is we're going to start wrapping up here because I am approaching a point where I need stuff.
You need your stuff.
Yeah.
No
yep,
problem.
I'm running out of filler episodes, guys.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah. So we're going to call it early.
Okay.
Right.
Do I end up getting my mom dropped off in time?
Yes, Alathanor will escort you both back.
Well, the three
basically,
of us, yeah.
you're all able to meet up in various ways. What we're going to do is we are going to have you return to the King's Mercy one at a time, in groups, individually. And being back there is where we're going to leave it.
I wanted to do something alone. Okay.
Okay, well, we'll cover that next week.
Yay.
Yeah, you can get your... you can choose whether your mother goes back to the Keep or the King's Mercy with you. At this point, she can be sort of swayed either way.
I'll tell
Just being a
her
helpful
to
experience
stay
for her.
there for another night. That
Stay away
way.
from Ghost Town.
No, so just I basically go, stay here for one more night. Let me make sure this place is extra safe.
Okay, dear.
And then I guess I will make my way back from the place by
National
myself.
offers to take you back. He doesn't mind.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that ride back, and then I'll use it to just talk shop, and we won't have to roleplay that.
Yeah.
So. I'm basically trying to form a good bond with him and make that option.
And he does actually start to broach the subject of if you don't, you've been welcome to work in the shop whenever you return. But he broaches the subject with you of, do you think your mother would be interested?
I basically will tell him in character, but that is actually what I am hoping to make happen. Is it would make me feel a lot more secure if she was safe there, because he seems trustworthy.
Well, he says talks about maybe we can talk about this all together over another lunch and all that jazz. Okay.
Okay, and that'll.
Right. Yeah. Sorry for the very dull long game.
No, it was fine. We had a lot of stuff we were all trying to get through. Combat doesn't have to happen to be an exciting game. It was actually pretty fun.
Oh yeah, I know that, but I wasn't able to do a lot of stuff I planned to actually spice it up a bit. It was just a lot of
hand waving.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
That's okay, Allie.
Everyone take 150 XP.
Did everybody get
2,272.
What was that, Sammy?
Did everybody get their homework in?
Oh yes, actually, good point. Everybody did. So take another 60 XP.
Yay!
60. I had to do math.
2, 3, 3, 2.
Yay! All right, I'm gonna stop.
Unfortunately, I haven't gotten to read anybody's homework. I've read a couple, but
I was actually wondering if you were gonna have us start off by reading our homework.
Yeah.
No.
All right,
No.
I'm gonna stop.
Anyone's welcome to do so if they wish, but I don't want to put people on the spot.